Right, event schedule. Welcome everyone to the Rocket League Oceania number 100, and I'm happily joined by Focusrite, who's also come to my bedroom.
Yeah, it took you a bit of convincing to get me into your bedroom, but
I'll be honest, it did not take very much. I offered him some wine, and that was it.
Yeah, he wined and dined me, and he got me into his bedroom. So
we're here.
We are,
and it's not all about this. We obviously have the gauntlet that happens in here too, but this is all about celebrating the rich history of OCE Rocket League and looking toward, I guess, a great evening. Already to start off a celebration, we have $500 in the prize pool. $240 was given straight by RLO themselves. That comes out of their pocket. Full donation. And Career Lord, you all know him, you all love him. He came through with another $260 to make it $500.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I love Career. He couldn't be part of the broadcast, unfortunately, because that's why we're stuck with Focusrite tonight.
Yeah, a bit of tier 2 talent here, but I'll be here regardless. So.
But yeah, I miss that. I miss that. That lovely boy of Career Lord. Haven't seen him for a while now, but it's still a great time. And before we go into the matches, we do have the group stage just finishing off now. We've almost got the playoffs beginning, but before we wanted to do that, we wanted to have a look back at the history of OCE. Before I look at some of the big names that we've had here, because I'm going to just start talking for a lot, I think. How did you get into Rocket League, Focusrite?
Ooh, I was actually into Rocket League fairly early. Obviously, wasn't really super part of the competitive scene, but I was part of the old Gfinity. Not Gfinity, I was part of that too, but Gameroos.
Yeah.
So I was like one of the, I think I ran some events for Gameroos back in the day. So that would be in 2016. Obviously then started to not be so shit at the game and started to, join the kind of playing. I'm still terrible. I said not so shit.
Wow.
I did say that. But yeah, basically I was always kind of in the back end sort of thing and tried to be a bit of a player. And then an org owner as well. So I managed the Team Esper guys recently in their... Are
you proud of the boys?
I'm proud of the boys. Not quite
anymore. Since they don't
quite
exist.
Anymore.
But, that is how it is. And I guess for me as well, I came in early on as a competitor. I got dogged season 1. I used to play with Cowd and Chicken Wang in ranked. Right from the very get-go, we kind of met each other. We enjoyed how we played. We just played threes all the time. And then I missed out on the very beginning of OCE Rocket League, the season 2, in essence, of the proper seasons at the start of Rocket League. That's when I came in. And that really segues into looking back at some of the history and some of the great names. And hopefully, for those of you who have been a while, a bit of a trip down memory lane. For those of you who are new, who haven't seen a lot of stuff, maybe it might be a bit of surprising names or surprising history lesson for you. But the reason that OCE Rocket League started in the beginning was because of Cybergamer. So if you ever want to give thanks, no matter what you think of anyone who runs any of these tournaments that I'm going to list, or anyone, or how the tournaments ended or anything like that, Cybergamer certainly was the beginning of OCE Rocket League. They're the ones that first put up prize pools. They put up weeklies. They put up their own money, and they ran tournaments. They got Rocket League sponsored as well. Season 1 was obviously a big kickoff, and you had to pay to, back in the day, it was all pay to enter.
Pay to enter.
And everyone had the worst orgs, like Team Esper. You had to get a terrible org just to pay your entry into the tournament. So everyone had an org because everyone's 16. And except me, and you can't pay.
You paid your own fees?
I did not pay. Well, I did. I think for one of them, Cyrix always paid his own.
Okay.
Yeah, Cyrix never wanted to be in under an org unless it was like Chiefs. So,
fair.
So that never happened. But yeah, everyone had just any org they could possibly get. They would pay their way in. But season 2 of Cybergamer was huge because it was not only our first ever LAN event, was a first ever LAN finals. It was Rocket League's first ever major LAN event. It was $2,800. It was down. It was down in Redfern at the technology park.
Oh yeah, I didn't go to that one.
And yeah, it was a great day. I didn't even go. I lived here still then.
What are you doing, mate? What are you doing?
I don't know. I just figured all these nerds didn't want to see Daisu.
Yeah,
of all people. I knew Daisu would be there. That's why I didn't go.
Oh no.
But yeah, it was down at the technology park. It was that was amazing. It was even casted by Biza and Neba, who I think did CS:GO at the same time.
Can't remember Neba.
And well, they did a lot of yelling, at that final, which at the time was exciting.
Yeah, going to be hearing a lot of that tonight by me, I'm sure.
And that was great. And Sequential at the time won that, and that's also where they met Legacy Esports. So Sequential won that. Just after that, they became Karasuno. They were the #1 team of the beginning age, and they got picked up by Legacy Esports and continued on that winning streak for a bit before they were finally dethroned. There were some other great organizations early on as well. Gameroos, as you mentioned, a massive organization run by Snakeboy, Woeful, those guys. Nutterers was also involved.
Yep.
And you.
To some capacity.
to some small extent. But... And that was always interesting. You go in TeamSpeak, best of ones, get in there, and you'd win a game. You'd win a game as your prize. And there were always a game from the Humble Bundle. Like a game that Snakeboy clearly got 3 different subscriptions to the Humble Bundle, and every week he would grab a code that to him is basically worth 20 cents.
I think that was Humble Bundle was a pay what you want. So he could have literally put a cent in.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like if there's 5 games, there is a fifth of a cent.
Yeah.
So pretty generous.
So there's always a game as a prize. Sometimes there were these big games, like new games that he would put down that were like worth $50 or something like that. And everyone would play anyway. It was all about having as much fun as possible, trying to get as good as you possibly can. There was no RLCS back in the day, so it was all about just the competition.
Yeah, Gameroos was very, one of my fondest memories. I think you'd probably say the same, as Yummy said, you could literally just go in. And that's what I'm really, kind of missing a little bit from what Rocket League used to be. But well,
nowadays people are good at the game.
They're good at the game, yeah. I think I even won one of those tournaments and I was absolute dog shit. I think I was silver and I even won a tournament. So there you go. It's too competitive nowadays, but...
And another big organization back then was GameStar.
Hey.
And the aforementioned Neba and Biza were part of that, as well as Crisis and EJ. And they ran the GameStar Hey GRL. If you guys don't remember, I think that was $1,000 as well.
Yeah, right.
It was something. It was a big prize pool back then. It was certainly worth it. There were 16 teams in group stage into finals. I came third in that competition.
Hey, there you go.
That was like my first. That was my first ever major competition. Beat Alpha Sydney, beat Dumbo, Stoney, and Dicky. They were meant to be good, but absolutely smacked them.
Of course, still bring that up to this
day. Which meant we won something like $30 between the 3 of us, and they got nothing. So, get wrecked.
That's all
that matters, right? And they were great. They were casting. They would cast all the events. They'd even cast Cybergamer as well. They used to cast the Cybergamer Pro League for a while, and you can't talk about that casting studio without talking about Aussie Gaming TV, who did a lot of the same as well. They worked really close with RLO throughout the beginning. A lot of volunteer casting that they did for RLO, for Hype, for ESL as well, and Judge Tibor and Renkies. I think those are the 3 big ones you really think about. But they let everyone cast. Like, that's how I did my first, I guess, proper cast with Aussie Gaming TV. I was in a chat once while they were streaming. I was like, hey, you want me to come on?
Yeah, they wanted me to cast some Dota at some point.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone's familiar with Dota. I'm about a 1K player. I'm very, very shit, but they would have let me even do that. I don't think I actually did it, but there you go. I'm open to anyone.
Yeah.
It's good.
And this is like the beginning of Rocket League kind of coincides with the beginning of the rise of Discord too.
Yes.
So definitely. It's kind of like both of them have grown together. And back in the day, like I installed Discord for Rocket League, and that went hand in hand. Peanut Gallery, the other major casting studio. Back in the day, you had to be in a casting studio. You couldn't do what we're doing nowadays, where we go to a bedroom, we do naughty things, and then we come over here and cast. You had to be part of the studio because no one else could, in essence, run a production.
Yeah,
I didn't have the
dog shit internet,
then,
dog shit programs. Internet's still dog shit, isn't it? Australia.
Mine's
Australian
good, so
right?
yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's good enough to stream.
Yeah.
So yeah, Peanut Gallery, the other one, and they also ran the Rocket League OCE Championship, the original, not the Throwdown Rocket League OCE Championship, the Rocket League OCE Championship. That was $4,500. That was a huge tournament for OCE back then, and that was kind of, I guess, the end of the Legacy era, because Nuovo, Atletico, Jam Gaming, whatever you want to call them, they won that. And that was like a major milestone because they won HGRL and then they won that and ended the reign of Legacy esports back then. And we had PDG, we had Jim Nesso, and we had Baal running that. There were more people behind the scenes, but those are the big three.
Yep.
PDG doesn't exist anymore, thankfully. Still good friends with Jim Nesso, PDG.
Yep.
But Jim Nesso now lives down here. I think PD is still up in Brisbane, and Baal has moved to Sydney as well. So he's moved up in the world from Perth to here, or Brisbane to Perth to here, and he works for Avant Gaming now. So they're still in the scene. They still do Rocket League as well, which is always exciting. I think certainly a lot of these players, or a lot of the casters, have moved on. Some often to better things too. I think Judge is a great one. He now runs or organizes a lot of professional lawyer or legal ease around esports.
Right, that's where his name comes from.
Yeah,
Didn't even realize that.
He was during his entire casting career. He was at school or at uni to become a lawyer.
Okay.
He succeeded in that and is now doing
Bigger
a lawyer for in the esports industry.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
And the talent industry. So exciting for Judge and yeah, I did mention as well Hype. Hype were a North American organization. They came in, they ran some tournaments, some 3v3 tournaments that was basically exciting because they are North American guys and they came and ran some OCE. They eventually stopped, but still forever thankful to them. And then we move on to some more of the modern era. What bridged that I guess traditional time to the modern era just before RLCS began was Rocket, run by Justice Robo. It was the last tournament, last LAN before we had RLCS coming in. And Justice Robo ran that. Squire Pug gave a lot of backing as well. I know he doesn't want that to be public knowledge, or didn't at the time want it to be public knowledge, but it's out there, Squire Pug. He was the one who put up a lot of the prize money. He put up a lot of people to get to LAN, and he paid for a lot of the the LAN cafe fees.
Right.
So he was a major factor behind the scenes, and he never let anyone know that was the case. My teammates at the time, AOE Emp and Plitz, they couldn't afford to get up, so he helped them pay for their flights up to, and they kind of went on a 50-50 split with Squire Pug as well.
Yeah. So awesome.
It was great.
And that
was
is just great here.
And that was another celebration of OCE Rocket League. It was amazing. Bizer and Wolfie casted that. And yeah, the last major LAN, the only LAN I ever went to.
As a spectator?
As a player. I was a
player?
Yeah,
right, yeah. He doesn't let that one up either.
And Plitz through.
Plitz. Yeah,
he own goaled 3 times to lose the grand final. In one game. Well, 2 of them were own goals. One of them was he turned a goal for us into a goal for them by literally just missing a ball in the midfield. Yeah, he's just like, I was so desperate for the shot, even though we were multiple goals up.
Oh no!
And then also, of course, Mocket came in for a short while. We'll glance over that.
We don't talk about that too
Throwdown
much.
came in with RLCS and also the Rocket League Challenge. And I think something that Throwdown never gets the credit for is necessarily the Rocket League Challenge, the OCE Open Series, the stuff they did in the off season. Because nowadays we have the 2 RLCSs, and that feels kind of like that's it. back then, I think Throwdown, I know for sure, talking to them, they kind of really wanted to make Rocket League this huge thing. And they were trying their best, and they did a lot of stuff for it. And that first season, sponsored by St. George, that Rocket League Challenge Season 1, that was huge, which had all 3 games, and they had that live final. And it wasn't RLCS, but the next one was. That was a great start. Throwdown, I think, definitely have to be thankful for them across the last 2 years. Also thankful for Wasted, who was the admin at the start of that, alongside D'Amica/Stacia, who was a major factor of starting that. Now she works at Gfinity. And also thanks to me for running it for 2 years.
Yeah, you're talking a lot about yourself, aren't you, mate? You're talking a lot about yourself.
Hey, I just looked at all the list, and I was like, me. I'm involved in that in some way. Yeah.
No, I think a big one recently, obviously, is Stacia with Throwdown and Gfinity. So she's, I think she had a lot to do with OCE even being in RLCS, right?
Yeah, I know the Sonics wanted to come in, but she did a lot of work or footwork to get them through the door. So major props out to Stacia. ESL, they ran ESL AUNZ champs. They also ran ESL weeklies and monthlies, and that was the first time OCE could get in-game titles. Getting the ESL monthlies, and B Bears was involved in that, as well as Gfinity too, and Gfinity, who did the Elite Series and who is now taken over for RLCS. And that comes us to the modern era, but we kind of missed a name here.
Yourself?
No. We missed Rocket League Oceania.
Yes,
and that's where we are tonight, obviously. And I want to go. I mean, this is just talk at League at this point, but I'm okay with that. Also, don't move that mic. Just drink past it, because everyone just
deafen people a bit?
Everyone just heard you. You can also just do this. Oh, that's noisy too. Nah, it's too late.
Okay. Apologies.
So Rocket League Oceania, they came in, started by Jay Ponage, started by Dover as well. Nolsky joined them later, but these guys have donated thousands of dollars into the OCE Rocket League scene out of their own money. They've donated thousands of hours of their time across all of them. I can't list every single name. We'll see them at the end credits of the show. But Jay Ponage and Dover started that off. Nolsky joined them soon after. Beatnik as well has done a lot of work behind the scenes in terms of running a lot of technical stuff. And those are the guys I think you really have to thank for continually looking to grow and put every effort forward into the Rocket League OCE scene. They're called Rocket League Oceania for a reason. And they started with their first ever 3v3. And who won that?
Not good with my history, Yummy. Not good with my history.
Little Wangs, it was me.
Oh, okay.
I won it.
He's mentioning himself again. I think can we have a count for this stream? I think we're up to 37.
Oh,
if my maths
I love
right.
me. I love me.
Absolutely.
I'm the best.
I think we all understand that now.
Little Wangs won the first ever one. We peaked the mic as well. But it was when it started, it was just a Steam group. It wasn't this big Discord or anything with 2,500 members. It wasn't anything. It was just run out of Steam group. It was run on the Rocket League Central website. It was a free prize pool, but it still got some of the top teams at the time, and of course Little Wangs.
Of course.
And that was a great start. And I think it was 4 or 5 events that were free, no prize pool as such, before it began having a weekly prize pool, which was massively exciting. We didn't have weeklies here. NA and EU, they had these organizations that would put up weekly prize pools. And it had been a long time since, say, Cybergamer had anything on the weekly ladder as well. So RLO, they've been running this entire time. The first tournament, 20th of March, 2016. They've been going for over 3 years now.
Well done.
And in that time, they've had so many different tournaments. They've run, obviously, 100 3v3s, more than 100 2v2 tournaments. In April 2016, not long after they started, they ran my favorite ever tournament, the Anzac Day All-Stars, which had 2 New South Wales teams make it to the grand final. And the New South Wales B team beat the New South Wales A team of Soma, Stoney, and Sirix in order to win. So New South Wales, #1. I'm wearing my jersey. This is an RLO jersey. I bought it after the second State of Origin. And And yeah,
And I'm just representing everybody.
you're representing
else with,
white
with the
shirts.
white,
Yeah. And they ran the chase as
Yep.
well. And that was great because not only did it have multiple divisions that supported, I think it was A, B, and C division, which gives you a note about how many teams were playing as well back in the day, how much support those guys lower down had. But also that was an event that RLO put on. They put up their prize money alongside some other people, I guess, around the community. And it was designed solely to make more people play more tournaments. Not enough people were playing in RLOs, in Gameroos, in weekly events. And so they said, you play in a weekly event, you get money. So you get points to get you into the finals. And the teams that had the most points get into the finals. They play there and they make it they're on their way to the top. I think Corvidae won that. Days won that. Maybe even Daisu at the time. Daisu, and Plitz or Siki.
Oh, I didn't even
Or
know
it could have
team.
been it could have been Days, Siki, and Plitz.
Okay.
You see, Days even won that. Shout out to Days as well, who's been here since the very beginning. We've seen some names as well of other people who've been here since the very beginning of Rocket League. But Days is certainly one of those names. He took a hiatus at some point and came back. They had the Cross Pacific Championship.
Okay.
Do you remember that one? No,
I
it was the one that
actually.
was with South America, and they played it on US West, and and so it was all on a high ping, and Corvidae won that as well over the top. Oh no, Legacy won that over Corvidae. So OCE first and second, and third place went to Sam, but they did the Aussies proud. That victory right there from OCE is why Sonics chose OCE first for RLCS. That's a joke, but
props
it's
to
probably
Legacy,
true. Yeah,
Corvidae, whoever won
props
that.
to Legacy, and Corvidae raising that banner.
Hey.
And then I guess the final really big tournament of note from RLO, the State of Origin in 2017, February 2017. Won by South Australia with Express, Bango, and Penal. And Penal still got it, for sure.
He still got it?
He still got it. And that's where I got this jersey, the second State of Origin they did. I love those tournaments because there's a lot of pride behind your state. And it's state players, and it's fun to watch. And they also did find their 100th 2v2 was in October 2018. I think they did $200 prize pool.
Okay.
So that may be $150. I'm not sure on those details. But that was a great event as well. It shows how much support they've put in, running over 100 3v3s. Well, sorry, 100 3v3s now as we reach number 100. Over 100 2v2s. They've probably run at least 250 tournaments over the past 3 years.
That's so impressive.
More shout outs to Dover. Jay Ponage as well, who moved on at some point to become a streamer. Very highly successful streamer. And, why wouldn't you?
Of course.
Yeah, of course you're
leverage that popularity and
leverage being a top player. You leave Abyss. Some shout outs, I guess, to some top teams too. Sequential Legacy, though the same team with Soma and Eren, Orion, Penor, Groovy Grape, all throughout their existence. They almost had Drip A as well. Before Alpha Sydney took Drip A away from them. Alpha Sydney, obviously, you can't mention top teams without Alpha Sydney, Chiefs, now Renegades. Back in the day, or they were Billy Fan Club for a little while. And they were Cringe Society for a while. And they were Rocket Devils for a little bit. And they were Rocket League OCE LOL for a tiny amount.
Still accurate.
Yeah, and the Jam Gaming, the Nuovo Atletico, that team, which were they were Gameroos. There's been about 4 or 5 teams that were Gameroos. I was on Gameroos. Gameroos
that's 38.
Team XD. Oh yeah, Gameroos XD with the Beast, myself, and AOEM. A real barn burner of a team, probably one of the highest potential teams in OCE because it had the Beast on it, and he's actually the best player in OCE. Yeah, Gameroos. They didn't have them all at the same time, basically. They had them all separately, but they always had these teams that became so much more than what Gameroos, and they're kind of limited but as much as the possible support that they could provide.
Yeah.
And yeah, Nuovo Atletico, they were the ones that ended the reign of Legacy Esports and began the reign of Jam Gaming slash Atletico at the time. And they were only finally dethroned by Alpha Sydney. So that was, I guess, there's been 3 different eras overall. Yes. And there's been an era for Abyss Esports. They had a brief time at the very top. But not as much as those other 3 teams. Gamerism is a joke. They never did better than second. But everyone else did.
They were number 1 for old Jam. The Jam roster was number 1.
Yeah, they were. I'm talking about Gamerism.
When they were actually.
The one that's kind of like that was long running.
Yeah. Cool.
Everyone else has had their chance at the top, and now we thought maybe it could be the era of Icon. The era of Tainted Minds, but unfortunately...
Didn't quite hit, did it?
Didn't quite hit. Last season, in the RLCS season, they did come first in OCE, and that could have been the start of it, but then Chiefs fought back and took Gfinity Season 2.
Yeah, maybe if they won the... beat Chiefs in the
if they took
Worlds,
Season 2, then for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's been the OCE history. I think maybe one day we should put this all down on paper.
Yes.
Or I'll make a video.
We got a VOD now, don't we?
We've got a VOD. Maybe make a VOD that's a little bit more exciting with some videos and stuff. But we're also going to find out who this first match. It looks like it's going to be the bad guys against Greatest Gaming Gamers, but it's the not so Greatest Gaming Gamers, or it is the Greatest Gaming Gamers.
Slightly good gaming.
Yeah, they originally entered the roster, probably because they weren't using their core roster.
So we got Bailey Mate, Hazza, and Homie from the looks of it.
Yeah, up against the core roster of Manlet.
Yes. So who is usually in Greatest Gaming Gamers? That's Seaver, is it? No. Homie? Who are the other 2?
Homie, Seaver has normally been playing for them. Yeah. But then they don't really know who their third is. Hazza has filled in with them before, so maybe he's more of a consistent third for them now.
Yep.
But I can't really be sure on who their roster is. Probably going to end up finding out.
Hazza, Homie, Seaver says baked potato. Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess it looks to be up in the air, but someone confirm in the chat if you
This is actually a best of 3 as well. It's a quarterfinal.
Yep.
Quarterfinal, best of 3. If you win this, you get this
top
is
16.
This is top 16. This is not quarterfinal yet.
Yeah. And what is Justice Esports doing?
That makes a lot of sense. So this is best of 3. The next one will be best of 5, and then
best of 5, and then best of 7.
Best of 5, best of 5, best of 7, and the winner of the next one. No, not the winner of this one, but the winner of the next one starts getting guaranteed prize money. Because for the 500 Australian dollars, not US dollars, I almost threw Dover under the bus there. For the 500 US dollars,
Australian dollars,
500 Australian dollars, because I always talk about RLCS and the 50,000 US dollars. So
yeah, that's a bit of a strange one.
Yeah, well, it's not that strange.
Well, I mean, we're not in America, are we? But
no, but it's sponsored by an American organization.
Fair. RLO is not an American corporation, so
an Australian organization with a US dollar prize pool. That's right, you heard it now. Dover is going to up it to 500 US dollars. Thanks, Dover.
We did throw you under the bus there.
And he's excited about that. The winner of the next one will get guaranteed prize money. It's $60 for 3rd/4th, $120 for 2nd, and $260 for 1st.
Not bad.
So basically, it's not worth it unless you come first, right?
Oh, that's what everyone wants, right?
And there's some good teams in there tonight. There's we've got Out of Order. Obviously, we don't. Well, not obviously, we don't have Icon because they. CJ is getting ready for Dallas. We don't have Renegades because Kami and Zen are the worst people in the world. But what we do have is Renacons.
The Renacons?
The Renacons roll out, transform and roll out.
And
that's Express, Shady, and Torsos.
And where is that? What are they called? They're not called the Renacons.
No, they're called Do It for Drip or something like that. Are they not here? They didn't make it.
Ooh, I
No,
don't know,
they
man.
did. Pray for drip. Pray for drip.
Ah,
Pray for drip.
pray for drip.
So tonight we've got the NA promos relos,
Mm-hmm.
and Drip A unfortunately is in that. He's in Evil Geniuses. They came 7th. So
So everyone pray for drip.
everyone pray for Drip A. I love what Shady's got in chat going on. Everyone's
Pray for
praying for Drip A. Thank you. And they're obviously a great team as well that are in here. Out of order, on the same side of the bracket as them.
Ooh, I don't know about that. Ooh.
Oh,
And they would meet in the top 8 as well.
that means that only one of those two teams
It's going prize money.
gets money.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh,
That's super rough.
And I blame Dover for how that turns out.
Seating, please.
Also, I think these mics are peaking a little bit, so we've got to be
Okay.
careful. We can turn that down
Yeah,
a
it's
touch,
alright, we'll-
turn down the gain, and we might need Dover to sort that out. We are going to head into the game, though. So while we mess with the audio and while Dover messes with the audio, the players are going to mess with the ball. And we can talk a little bit about these players.
Mhm.
You know, it's a celebration tonight. It's not all about the best Rocket League possible, which is very clear from this goal.
Straight off the kickoff, 4 seconds in. That's what we're talking about. Some of these players can really just hit it where it counts, right? Like straight off the bat, we get the first goal. And that was from
Billy.
From Billy.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he's
no sleep
gang.
gang is Billy.
He's obviously not had any sleep because he's waiting to sleep and wake up at 5 a.m. for the NA promotions.
Yeah,
And he's sleeping in front of the net too. So he's let one in. I wanted a chance to talk about some of these players.
not getting the chance, are we?
No,
Oh,
homie, of course, who set up that goal. He's pretty irrelevant, but he is in a lot of Twitch chats. He gives that Twitch chat support.
Yeah, he really is the Twitch chat MVP, isn't he?
Well, I wouldn't say MVP.
No? Who would you say? Who would you say
He's not most valuable. He's the most quantity player.
Okay.
Yeah,
yes,
he goes for quantity over quality for sure.
Yep.
And that's why Twitch chat right now is not going a million miles a minute, but the goals are.
But there's some established thoughts there. There's no, massive amounts of spam as we see from Homie.
No. And of course, No Sleep Gang as well gets that goal. And I will keep going through Greatest Gaming Gamers.
Mhm.
Cowboys on VHS is Bailey, mate.
I
And
believe so.
his real name's Bailey, so it has to
Yeah,
be.
it has
No
to
one
be.
else would have the name Bailey.
Imagine having the name Bailey.
That would be disgusting. Also, you don't have to have the scoreboard up the entire time.
I just want to see.
You just want to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Bailey, mate, has been in the bubble for forever.
Yes.
And I've always thought that maybe he would jump out of it. He had the chance to. He certainly had close times where he almost jumped out of the bubble, and yet he just simply hasn't done it so far.
It's just a bit too comfortable.
Yeah, he's just... There's always that kind of extra level of effort, of work, of commitment, and maybe even of outside influence, of finding people who can teach you how to get to that next level for sure.
He hasn't really had the opportunity though, has he?
No.
To play with those, really high tier players.
And a lot of the times in the bubble, you end up changing teams so often.
Yes.
They break apart as soon as they don't jump straight up to the next level,
Mhm.
and then they make another team. And that can be really tough. You've seen in the past a team like Reticent Esports. That's one of the greatest stories of all time. Panzer Shrek, Zen, and CJM. And obviously Panzer Shrek never made it to the next level, realistically. But Zen and Zen certainly has.
Yeah, CJM.
He made jump after jump after jump. CJM, he was a player at some point that was way more prized than Zen, of course,
Yeah.
and was almost a top player. And I think he made some bad decisions.
Right.
He went on the rejects and all sorts of these teams and didn't quite make it. And I think at the end, that probably is what hurt his motivation. And he is no longer playing at the top level, but he does play Rocket League every now and again.
Okay. Because the last team he was on was Ground Zero.
That was an almost huge goal too.
Yeah, we're missing a lot here.
Yeah, CJM was on Ground Zero and he left halfway through the season, got replaced by Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other team, No Sleep Gang, Billy, kind of newer entrant. He came in on PS4. He was such bad.
Okay.
And he made a name for himself early on by being just a lad and becoming friends with a lot of people around the scene, with all the Alpha Sydney boys. With Soma, he played a lot with Soma back in the day, and has certainly put a stamp on OCE. Maybe not necessarily in competition, but he has been in RLCS.
Yep.
He played under Masterminds. He played as sub for Avant Gaming in the season where they only took wins when he was playing on the day.
Oh, there you go.
So certainly had an effort there. And on SYF Gaming, he came fourth.
Yes.
Now he's on Manlet, this team that's playing right now that are playing under the bad guys, But
They only just missed out on league play
only just
as well.
missed out a couple of times too.
Couple of times.
Upper bracket, lower bracket.
Yeah.
Not their season for sure.
But it's respectable that they're sticking together. It looks like
Oh yeah, they're putting in the work, and I 100% expect them to be there in the top 8 next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
His teammate as well, Days. We talked a bit about him earlier.
Yeah, he's been in chat quite a lot.
In chat, he's
obviously not right now.
certainly one of the Twitch trolls, and you need some of them. You need some of them, and most importantly, he's been at the scene since the start. He was in the early Corvidae.
Okay.
With Shady and who was it back then? JCN. Shady and JCN.
I remember that name, but I don't.
He was
very toxic, wasn't he?
He was really toxic. Yeah. Oh, he was one of those guys that are kind of like just unapologetically toxic.
Yeah.
You know, Days is actually a nice guy, and he's just having fun with people.
Just harmful banter.
Yeah, JCN.
That was harmful, man.
He would really try to get under everyone's skin as much as possible. A lot of schoolyard antics. And they replaced Shady with Lunch Packer back in the day. I don't know about that choice.
Packer.
It's another goal for Lurky. That's going to secure the game 1.
Yeah.
It is a best of 3 too. Not a lot of time.
These games really matter, and Lurky just able to compensate from the pass from Billy. It looks like. No. Who's the other guy? Bailey. Bailey's the one that's called Cowboys on VHS. What do you reckon that's relating to?
I don't know.
You don't know? No point theorizing over that one?
VHS is a thing of the past too.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about history, that's long history. But back in my day, when I was growing up, it was all VHS. We didn't have these fancy, not even DVDs back then, just CDs. We just had good old-fashioned VHS. And we didn't even get to finish talking about this thing because we talked about Lurky. Not a lot of history there.
No,
Much newer player.
He's definitely one that has accelerated in probably the past 6 months, year maybe.
Yeah.
But like a lot of players, especially the ones I was talking to with in regards to Esper, were really hyping Lurky up. So I think he's probably, even though he didn't make league play this time around, I think he's definitely going to be one to watch for the next year or so, I'd say.
He's very much a young gun as well. I think that played against him. It was his first chance at qualifying.
Yep.
I think he's only just 15. I think he's only just 15, turning 16 soon. So he hasn't had the opportunity yet. A lot of pressure on his shoulders. And a lot of pressure on Days as well as a veteran. But it will be exciting to see how Loki goes. I certainly hope he gets the opportunity next season. And they're going to have some opportunities here to take down the competition and get into that top 8.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing, considering Billy and Days are those old school players, they've been around the block quite a bit. That's really good to see, in sort of a mentoring capacity. So having someone like that, as we were talking about players just before, not really getting that chance to maybe, break that bubble. Lurky's just proven himself to be, that, I guess, third player that can team up with those veterans.
And I know Billy and Days as well, they love replay analysis. They put in a lot of work. You can see kind of why this team works as a committed unit, even though they didn't make RLCS, is because of how committed Days and Billy are to getting those wins, to becoming better players, to the excitement and the rush of competition. And at the other end, Homie has been plugging away for a long time as well. I don't think the work ethic and the knowledge and the skill is quite at the same level,
Mhm.
but certainly the experience is there.
Oh, he definitely puts in the hard yards. You see him, playing so many hours. Like, he's plugging away, but I guess, he's just kind of, he's probably on the close edge of the bubble, right? He's like, more towards breaking the bubble than probably most other players.
There's certainly been times where he's come close out of that bubble. Like been at the very top of the bubble, looked to get into that top 8. Realistically, I think in OCE, the bubble might even be limited to top 6. As in, if you're out of the, that was close. If you're out of the bubble, you're in the top 6.
Yep.
So the bubble might be bigger here, or the bubble might start earlier. I should say the bubble might be smaller. So Homie may be further away depending on your definition. But he's had some great results. He won the Firegate. No, not the Fire. He won the latest Cyber Gamer tournament, the Cyber Gamer Open Ladder, over the top of yours truly.
And we just see the first goal coming in from Days. I think it was just a matter of time there. A little bit of flip-flops around the defense of
Hazza came off the side post as well. He had the save, but
it was awkward. Definitely
came off
awkward.
the side post. That ruined his save. And so it does seem that Manlet, but now Bad Guys. I hope they keep this name. I actually prefer the bad. If they just keep the Bad Guys, they can call them the Bad Guys. The bad boy goal from Lurky.
That wasn't too bad at all either. Days into Billy, was it? And then Lurky to finish that off. That was a 3-man passing play. Really good.
Yeah, that read from Lurky is hard to do because he was up before it hit the backboard too. And it was coming from all the way on the side of the wall.
Yeah, but that was an amazing play. I'm really pleased to see stuff like that coming out of those guys. And you can really see the teamwork trying to get built up here.
This is only the first match of the night too. We're going to have a lot more. The first one's a best of 3, but they're going to get longer as well.
Considering they are 2 goals up. Probably don't want to count the GGs out.
I want to count them out.
You want to count them out?
Yeah.
2 goals, 2 minutes.
Listen, anything that makes Homie a little bit sad is something that makes me happy.
Yeah, this is like the biggest rivalry in OCE at the moment.
No.
What would you say surpasses that
I think
one?
Homie has just a rivalry with anyone who Twitch streams.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's in every single chat.
Oh, except mine, right?
Wait, you Twitch stream?
On occasion.
Twitch.tv/FocusRightRL.
That's the one.
Oh.
Shameful plug.
Oh, you're on here. You're volunteering your time. I know you didn't have anything better to do now that you don't have an org, or team.
No team at the moment. But that's the thing is that there's nothing. I mean, this is going on, which is great. But other than that, like we just gotta kind of have to wait. I don't see there's any for orgs especially. It's kind of a weird time to really get into the scene. I think so.
Yeah. Unless are you going to pick up out of order?
I don't know about that. I don't think that's allowed. But I mean, I'd like to see who picks them up for sure if they do get picked up.
That's another great play coming out from the Bad Guys. It took 3 players. They got the backboard there, and they got it underneath Bailey.
And you're seeing like all 3 of these members actually going in for these plays as well. It's not one member being super mechanical and just getting it over the top. Confidence. Yeah, that's right. Like they're relying on that 3rd guy to get the goal and the 1st guy back to rotate. As we see a 4th goal, and I think it's probably safe to say that I can now count them out too.
Good. I do feel a little bit for Hazza and Bailey.
But not for Homie.
Yeah. And this is kind of the expected result.
Yeah,
this is a team that is sitting currently inside that top 6.
Yeah.
Inside that bubble that we were talking about. So they are a technically top-tier team. But even inside that top 6, there is certainly big gaps.
Yeah, and as I was saying before, it is a really weird time with all the roster shuffles. To get a team in this early and to keep that roster locked in takes a lot of motivation and drive. So if they can keep this going until next season of RLCS...
Wait, so who is Team Esper picking up?
Oh, too early to say at the moment.
You don't have any ideas? No thoughts?
I've got ideas, but look, I like Bassink's idea of out of Esper.
Uh-huh.
But I think that's a totally different.
So you're going to
order.
reform around Daisu, the star player Daisu.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's definitely something we've got to think about, but it's just it's too early. It is too early to say. There's only a handful of teams that are actually sticking together, and I'm sure that even before RLCS qualifiers even comes around, there's going to be a crazy amount of roster changes regardless. So it really is, super early for those teams that maybe aren't, top 5, top 6, and I'm sure even those teams could potentially have a bit of a shuffle on their hands.
Yeah. We did see a bit of a comeback from Gaming Gamers. They almost did it. In fact, they brought it back to one goal.
One goal.
It was 0 seconds on the mark, and yet it wasn't quite enough. And part of that is because Days dunked his teammate at the same time. So Series 1, the bad guys are going to move on. They're going to go into the top 8 quarterfinals.
And, if all it goes to expected, which it should, they should be playing Justice Esports in the top 8.
Uh-huh.
I don't know about that one. What do you reckon? Obviously, Justice Esports is without Steve.
They're running with change today.
Yeah, so that one could go either way.
I don't know. It depends on how. I think it's very close.
Okay.
I think it's going to depend on how the teams play. I would edge it out for the bad guys. I think the bad guys are the favorites in that one. Funnily enough.
I would agree.
Justice Esports would be the first tournament with change.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's going to be a permanent addition, but certainly rumored to be so.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the moment you've got so much time. It's all about trialing players.
Yeah.
And finding out how they perform. But certainly, change could adapt over time.
But even then, like that team is probably a top 6, right? Especially if they lock him in so early,
Well, I mean, right now they're power ranked to number 8.
Yeah, but considering all the other teams are probably having the roster shuffles, if they can lock someone in early, then
well, this could be an important weekend for them. Maybe this is the match coming up. Well, not on stream, obviously, but the match coming up that determines whether they move up or down in the power rankings and gives everyone an idea. Because against the bad guys club, that's certainly a big telltale story.
Yep.
They're not going to meet until the semifinals, though. So they're going to...
Yes.
They would have prize money by the time that they met, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just funny how we did end up with Pray for Drip and Out of Order. And Out of Order lost to Long Red Cordial.
Oh, my God.
2-0.
Sure. No.
There's got to be a problem there because in Game 2, Out of Order got 10-0'd.
I don't believe that at all.
I believe
Not
it.
for a second.
Because what would have happened is Jules probably lagged a bit.
Okay, so it was 2v3.
Potentially, and then they got
match.
10-0'd. But even still, a 10-0 is...
Yeah, I don't know. We need the context, right? Like, Game 1, it was 2-1. Still,
okay.
It's a good one for Red Cordial. 2-1 lead. It's a good win.
Okay,
but...
apparently they ended up forfeiting, but somebody's filled this in really badly. So This is why RLO shouldn't run any more tournaments. This should be the final one because their admin, and I'm going to guess it's 100% Nolsky. Only Nolsky would be able to mess up this badly. He filled it in 10-0. And, I mean, we have to just look at that and say, okay, it was a 10-0.
Yes.
Yeah. And are we gonna I think we should just move on to the next one if we can.
Yeah, I think
we don't need a break.
Nah, no, we can power through
We got our water, we got our food.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks like the next one's going to be, at least on stream, Red Cordial versus Pray for Drip. This will be an interesting one.
Yeah, it should be, only because I think it's going to be exciting to see what Torsas does with Shady and Express. I already know coming into this one that he kind of wasn't incredibly excited to play with such a different play style of team. But I kind of was like, you should play. I wanted all of them to play. I didn't tell Torsas he should play. I just made the suggestion that they play together because it is a celebration and these guys are such important players when it comes to the scene that I wanted to see them here.
Of course. So
I made sure they did. And Long Red Cordial, they've been coming up through the ranks. They just 10-0'd Out of Order. And now they have a chance to potentially 10-0 Pray for Drip.
Yeah, and I think obviously being on the come up, Red Cordial, I think the player to watch out for is obviously Hawk.
Uh-huh.
And he's been showing a lot of signs of hope, being such a young player, playing in the tournaments and actually coming up. What are they power ranked at the moment?
I think they are number 5.
5.
Yeah.
So
off the top of my head,
definitely no slumps, and also Lim Walcott coming back after not qualifying for league play last time round. But coming in with this young gun, I'm super curious to see how they. I haven't actually seen much of them before.
Well, you haven't been watching the Gauntlet?
Oh, look, I do when I can, but yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see more of Hawk, and I think this is definitely a tester, considering that they're playing against.
Well, they haven't had a chance to play against Torsos yet,
Yep.
or Shady and Express, because they got shut down by Out of Order both times, as far as I remember. So they have certainly something to prove here, and it's nice because they don't have to prove it against a core roster.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that being said, you'd probably still say that Pray for Drip's probably the
Pray
they're
for
the ones
Drip
you're
just
after.
has such an outstanding set of mechanics that it's going to be so hard. And even then, they're going to have enough coordination, just as 3 good players on top teams in terms of passing, that they should be able to do well. Torsos, I think he's going to not look like the Torsos that we know and love, the Torsos that can go all over the pitch.
Yep.
Because he likes playing fast. He likes being at top speed. If he's not, he feels uncomfortable. We're going to head into the game. It is a best of 5 now. And it is for prize money. You win this and you go through. I think earlier on, maybe Pray for Drip would have been worried about what Out of Order could do. And yet, not now. And we can talk. There's a lot to talk about with these players.
Yep. Yeah, obviously with Torsos making, again, RLCS for how many times in a row is that?
5. He's the only player from OCE that's been 5 times. He's been more than any other OCE player as of this season.
And yeah, obviously Shady and Express. Yeah, look, even though they didn't make it, the argument can be made, and I think in the power rankings they're still second. So the argument can be made that they're still the second best team in a OCE.
You can even argue that they're the best team.
The best team.
But not under pressure, and it's when you play under pressure that really counts.
But, that being said, I don't know how much pressure they're under, considering they do have a sub in Torsos.
Oh, there's no pressure for this. This is
no pressure whatsoever.
This is a walk of the park. For them, $500 prize pool.
Yep.
What's that to $50,000 to $500,000?
Especially considering that we don't have Out of Order.
Yeah, they don't have their biggest competition. They might... Originally, I thought Out of Order were the favorites in this competition because they were bringing their core roster.
Yep.
Now, these guys are the favorites to win the entire thing.
Absolutely. And like, you could even argue that this is grand final potential. Like, Hawk is, playing so well. These guys have been on the come up. They're ranked 5th at the moment.
Yep.
These guys, on their best day, they're ranked 1st or 2nd. Obviously, Torsos being 1st.
Yeah, and all the teams above them aren't playing because Out of Order are out.
So this is a 1st in OCE versus a 5th in OCE. So arguments can be made that this is like probably the biggest competition, perhaps, that we have tonight.
Yeah, certainly looks like it could be the case. As it is still a case of inexperience, I would say, because you look at the names here on Renacons, I'm calling them.
Renacons?
Transform and roll out. Shady has been there from the very beginning. As we mentioned earlier, he played with Daze on Corvidae back then, and he did take a break and came back, played for 988 Ping with Elusive and Zest, and they really came up, and that's just a big shot from Torsos, exactly what we'd expect.
Yep.
So Shady came up, and all of a sudden he's risen to the very top.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we just saw Torsos with that really tricky angle, but he makes it work. And look, that's the great thing about one of these players is they can make anything work, really. He doesn't have an awkward position. He doesn't have an awkward angle ever. He just absolutely nails it. Yep. And that's what we're seeing after, these sort of veterans against these new young players. Obviously, Lim and Walcott being around the block, but Hawk, he's got a lot to prove.
It's like you've talked a lot about Hawk.
I'm so curious to see what Hawk has in store for us.
You've talked a lot about Hawk, but the thing is, Hawk's known for his mechanics.
Yeah.
But these 3 players all have similar levels of mechanics.
Yep.
Sometimes better. Like if you look at Torsos, certainly 100% better mechanics than Hawk. And even with Shady, I would definitely 100% argue. And Express, I think, is very consistent with his mechanics.
Yeah.
But the other thing is these guys have way more on top of that in terms of experience, in terms of knowledge of how to play the game, in terms of the brain and the prediction that's required, those skills that make them all a step above Hawk. And that's not even accounting for Walcott and Lim, who do have more experience, obviously, than Hawk, but certainly haven't been as fast as he has.
Yeah, still not enough in comparison to the top 2 teams in OCE, and that's why they're there. So we'll go back into the play-by-play. Lim trying to.
What do you mean we haven't talked about Express?
Have we talked about Express?
We haven't barely talked about any
Express.
of these. So anyway, Express.
Yeah, talk about.
He's
Express.
another player that's been here from almost the start. He started at the same time I did, Season 2.
Okay.
Realistically, obviously it was a bit earlier than that, and he went straight into CGI, so the second division of competition, and they were a strong team then. They could have been in the top division immediately in their first competition with Jay Ponage.
Yeah, okay.
Express, Jay Ponage, and Adzi? Yeah, it was Adzi. Oh, okay. That takes me back a while, but yeah, Adzi was on a top team, and they really rocked the region, certainly at the time. Obviously, it was early days, and they made it straight into CGP in their second season.
Is that the Abyss?
Yeah, Abyss. Yeah. They were the Abyss roster.
Okay.
With Jay Ponage on it, they dropped Jay Ponage, picked up Cyrix in the end. Actually, they picked up School Bus first.
I don't even know that name.
They picked up the School Bus, and then they picked up Cyrix after that. So School Bus played with them, and they looked like a really good team. And then eventually Cyrix came in, and funnily enough at the time, when Cyrix came in to Abyss, at the start of that roster, he was the aggressive player.
Okay.
Which is like completely counter to what you think, even back then, of Cyrix. And he showed that he had some great striking ability, and it's only a shame that he never continued that. He went back to defense eventually. I think that's just where he loves it. He loves being in the back.
Loves it in the back.
Yeah, on the other end, Walcott was Rising Star of 2017, if I recall. Certainly.
Yeah, in the Jam roster.
He certainly had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And he didn't quite live up to it. He got onto a team with Bango. And I'll be honest, Bango, I think, on that team, Walcott had a lot of potential at the start and never lived up to it. I think that roster became very much about 1v3, 1v3 three times.
Yep.
And that's not how you play Rocket League. It's a team game. You have to play as a team. And for Walcott, that's been unfortunate for him. And Lim, a much newer name, came through earlier last season, was one of those players picked up by Daisu, who ended up sort of coming up through ranked, having a great season, really making name for himself. But I think potentially his ego got a little bit too high for himself.
I don't know if that's a joke or not.
No.
He actually, his ego was actually
massive.
massive.
At the end of Gfinity Season 2, I think he thought that he was going to be on a top team, and he didn't make it. But I think this is like a great down to earth. The fact that he's come back and playing with Walcott again is fantastic to see. So, and they're playing really well. They obviously didn't win the first game. Pray for Drip.
Look,
certainly
that's
did.
as expected, right?
Like,
we can't expect too much out of it. Maybe expecting a little bit more of a showing from Red Cordial, personally. But that's as expected.
We saw signs of life at the end with Hawk getting that goal. But for the rest of the game, unfortunately, it's been a lot of traffic here for Renacons. It's a good early start too, coming out from Renacons.
Now, is this a best of 3 or a best of 5?
This is best of 5.
Okay.
You can see it right here.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the stream is open.
Yeah.
If I only opened my eyes.
So best of 5, and that's handy because Walcott, that's now 2 goals in a row coming out for Long Red Cordial.
Yeah.
Got to be a great set of momentum. They beat out the defenders, and this is how they win, because when it comes to Renacons, they haven't got that team synergy. They don't know who's meant to be back at any certain point in time.
Yeah, that could be a definite possibility, is just closing out those gaps and trying to, I guess, take advantage of that. But look, I think the offense is really what's going to be difficult for them, because considering Torsos is just so far up all the time, it looks like, at least a couple of those goals from last game. He's able to hit those, ridiculous, awkward angles.
You kind of see the plays there too, where he recovers so fast and just gets in front. So annoying.
It's like that third man back just doesn't have a chance.
Oh, that was very clever from Walcott as well. The bump almost got the goal. It looked like it was on target too. And instead it's going to almost go the other way.
Now we are seeing a bit of an onslaught from the Renacons. They are keeping it away from them a lot and just playing with their opposition quite a bit.
Yeah, but they haven't got the goal.
They haven't got the goal.
That's all that really matters.
All it takes is one bang upfield and Walcott almost makes it, but
the interesting thing is
Shady.
Long Red Cordial don't have those passes going, right?
Yeah.
And that's what they're known for. They're known for these quick passes. That's why they've been able to be a 5th place team. You can't be a semi-top or even a top 6 team without having very solid team play, without being able to get the ball around the defense. And we're not seeing it here. Their goals have been mistakes from the opponent's defense that they got it past.
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably when we take a look at the shots on net, I'd probably argue, it's actually the opposite direction where I thought, because obviously the Renacons putting so much pressure on, and I'm just so surprised that they haven't actually gotten a goal yet.
Well, they've been putting pressure on, but only in the midfield, not in the attack.
Yeah.
So they're preventing a lot of plays from happening, but not making so many of their own.
Bit of miscommunication happening, and might be able to take advantage of it, but Express covers nicely, and we see Shady with the shot. Almost makes it in, but Hawk should be able to have a bit of a play here.
It was a very solid chance, at least, for Renacons to get that. They almost had it. I think if Express put the shot on perfectly at the start, it would be good, but that is clever from Torsos.
Yeah, Express able to capitalize on that one, and Shady passing it down. Bit of a redirect. Well, that was from Torsos, and then Express able to finish that one off. 3-person play. Like we were seeing from... Who did we watch last match? Can't even remember.
Bad Guys,
Bad Guys. Yeah, you're seeing a lot of those 3-man players that are just, they're taking advantage of that. They're playing confidently, and they're capitalizing on...
Even right there, Express winning that kickoff so hard. He beat the other player by a mile. That shows the mechanics. The fact that he can read the ball off the wall so quickly before it hit the wall made it so he got to the ball first uncontested.
Might see a fast break here, but Shady can't quite get the touch on Lim. Looks to dribble it out of defense, but Express a little bit too quick onto that one. Now cleared out by Hawk. However, there's a shot attempt coming out from Torsos into, who was that, Express, almost able to punch it in, but can't quite get the angle going. Shady passing it upfield. Couple demos coming out. And we might see a shot coming out here. Shady can't quite get the angle. But, I mean, look, we're seeing a lot of potential players coming out of the Renacons.
We're seeing way more opportunities now. I think they were struggling early on, but they're getting those passes happening, and it feels like it's a matter of time before they score the goal, but we've seen mistakes happen, and that's where they can get punished.
And as I said, it's a matter of time before they even come online. I mean, they probably only played as a 3-stack, at least in this tournament, for, 5 games?
Yeah.
6 games? Something like that. A very small amount of games, and the more games that they play, the more confident they're going to be able to play with Torsos as the stand-in. So I guess, if I was to argue, it'd be only up from here.
And when you're a new roster like this, you have to play to every single opponent.
Yes.
Every single time you find a new series, you kind of have to reset and find your rotations again. Find out how you're going to play, because these guys, in terms of their opponents in Long Red Cordial, they're not going for a lot of intercepts, but they're going to need to be going for more intercepts maybe themselves than they'd be used to going for in this tournament.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to mention is the upset potential on a best of 5. We are into best of 5s now. Is a lot less than we would have been last round.
We don't really know how these guys are going to play. And even now, it is a very close one, and that was a huge mistake almost. Almost went through the line.
However, trying to drop it down, but cleared out. We're seeing some efforts from Hawk, and Lim able to get the shot off. And we do see Red Cordial take out game 2.
At 0 seconds on the clock. And Hawk beat out Torsos to this ball. He outsped Torsos. gets it to the defender as well, and makes sure to put that one in. So Long Red Cordial have tied up the series at 0 seconds.
Definitely wasn't expecting that one, but good to see that they can kind of give the Renacons a run for their money.
For sure. Pray for Drip.
Pray for Drip.
Pray for the Renacons. They just took a loss. They didn't have as many opportunities as they would have liked, but they certainly picked it up halfway through that. They also seem to make mistakes in defense that allowed Long Red Cordial, and that's expected as a team that isn't their core roster.
And Red Cordial, how long would you say they've been playing with each other
Not
now?
too long,
No?
only a few weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
Okay.
So that's certainly a lot of time compared to 0 weeks. So.
Yeah, but, you know, I'd say that it's a good sign.
Mhm.
You know, they're getting the passing plays off. Not probably as much as you know, the Renacons.
No, but they haven't needed to. They've
No.
added a bit more to their game. They found that speed.
Yep.
They hit the roof, and they kind of did what Torsos did to them with his roof pass.
Yeah, definitely showing, I guess, their capabilities. They can give them a run for their money. Let's see if they can continue that into Game 3.
I think the worry for them as well going forward, not necessarily in this competition, but throughout their career, is they're using Hawk to beat out opponents, to get setup plays, to be really unpredictable.
Yep.
And you have a tendency with teams like that, for instance with a team like Justice Esports that had Steve on it, to rely on that player. For him to be so important that your entire attack is just whether that player can open up the net.
Yep, absolutely.
So they have to make sure that they do continue getting these passes back. They do find that passing play. It's Lim and Walcott that usually get those passes for sure.
Yeah, homie in chat, have Walcott and Lim not been a thing for like 2 seasons? Yeah, they have. I think they took a bit of a break.
They took a break. They disbanded and then they came back.
Just for the qualifiers.
And then they came back for the qualifiers and then they stopped and then they came back again.
Yeah, so look, even though they took a break, yeah, they've been together for 2 seasons, but I think, would you say Hawk's quite a different player to Ghost?
Oh yeah,
So
it's completely different.
It's going to be hard to implement a player like that, especially some player that hasn't really quite been at the top considering his age.
And even right now, you're seeing that they're kind of not used to playing at this pace. When you're playing against people like Manlet, you're playing against the Farm, all those teams outside of the top 3, or even I guess in this case outside of the top 2, because sometimes out of order have slow games. You're not used to playing such a fast opponent, and Hawk I think is doing really well for that.
Yep.
The other two kind of figuring out how to play against these faster opponents right now.
They haven't been doing too badly though, considering the game is still scoreless, which is what I was going to say. But Redicons get the first shot off, and just another angle and a bit of an awkward touch coming out from Hawk. But
with the loss of Drippe to the OCE region, I feel like Torsos has truly filled that role.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of shot that I would expect from Drippe. A complete bang into the top corner that just becomes so hard to save. Even if he saved that, they would have had the follow-up touch. And that is why Drippe was so good. He just knew where to strike it, and he was really accurate. So he stepped up into that role. And I think that's great for somebody like Torsos, because he was also, I guess, the receivership of somebody who left him, who abandoned him, who this was the team, or Drippe, Kami, and Torsos were going to be the team that won the World Championship.
Yeah.
Drippe left for greener pastures
The World
as
Championship.
such. Yeah, the World Championship. They were going to win.
They were going to win it?
They weren't going to, but they were trying to.
Yeah,
that was the team that was meant to win the World Championship. It still could be, because of the way that Torsos is playing. In the local region, the international region, obviously, and Worlds and Dallas and Valencia, total another question. But again, another awesome pass play right in front of net.
Yeah, we're definitely seeing what these players are now capable of. That's the 3rd goal for them in 2.5 minutes. Good drop down into Shady, and Shady's just in the right spot. He knows how to read those ones. And yeah, look, we saw a bit of signs from Red Cordial, but we're seeing now where they kind of lack.
Oh, for sure. And it's hard as a newer team, or even as a less experienced team, to know exactly how to defend against these kind of attacks. Against attacks where you've got passes out of nowhere, where you've got someone like Torsos just going ham.
Yes.
And eventually they'll work that out. And these kind of tournaments that RLO have been put on 100 times are where they get that experience, where they get the chance to play against these top teams. And even if they don't win this series, even if they don't win this match, they'll have come out of this and they'll have replays, they'll have the chance to see what better things they could have done, and they will be a better overall team in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is what we say when we talk about the bubble, right? It's just being able to even have the respect and earn the respect of these sort of top players, trying to force yourself into scrims with them. Like, you know,
that's the thing, right? They don't get to scrim, these guys.
Exactly.
They're not quite at that right level to be able to say,
yeah,
we're going to scrim them today. Let's reach out to Renegades. Let's reach out to Icon and get a scrim. It's not that they don't scrim the lower teams. It's that they typically would prefer to scrim the higher teams. So they opt them first.
Just want to stop you for a sec. That double from Torsos, from Walcott, not Torsos. Usually it's Torsos, right? Doing those sort of plays. But Walcott showing a bit of signs of life. A minute left, 2 goals down. Look, either way, no matter where this game goes, I think it's pretty impressive from Red Cordial.
Well, that was a good kickoff goal as well.
Yep.
I mean, good for one team. The kickoff itself wasn't so great from Torsos, and Express didn't get the clear that he wanted. So that's going to actually bring it back to 1 goal. And now the problem for Renegons is that they're the team that are under the most pressure on defense. That's hard as the team that's not a core roster. But
oh, no, sorry. Oh, I got to move away from my mic if I do that.
Oh, my goodness. Might have to turn down the gain on that one, but
shot from Torsos.
Torsos.
Oh, you legend.
Ruins the net, ruins the microphone as well. Hopefully the audience didn't get to hear that.
Ruins the audience's ears too. You can blame Torsos for that, not myself, obviously.
Give us an update, Dover, on whether you heard the peaking on that one.
Oh, definitely would have. Yeah, no, but like that's what I mean. Like Torsos, time and time again. Is showing him why he's at the top.
Yeah.
Just absolutely showing the signs of life. You know, they were only 1 goal down, or 1 goal up rather, but being 2 goals up now, you know, Torso's able to get those crazy shots off and showing us signs.
Yeah, so we're going to turn down our gain a touch here, and we're going to hope that Dover can sort it.
So blow anyone's ears.
Dover, you're going to have to fix it on your end. So we're going to be quiet. You're going to have to turn us up, buddy. And hopefully we don't peak anymore. Yeah, I think we're pretty good. We can get back into it and be ready for the next game, where hopefully more big plays happen and we don't have to peak the mic doing it. Good game as well. Heading over to Pray for Drip. It looked like Long Red Cordial could bring it back until Torsos made that play.
They're just looking too good, too sharp, too mechanical. They're just getting those goals where maybe they shouldn't be. Like those goals, like they're Hail Mary plays, but Torsos just able to get it every time.
The thing is, when Torsos does that, you saw it all throughout the season of Gfinity. He does that, and he knows that if it doesn't pan out, if the defense does get something, it opens up the net for the next person.
Yeah.
And he's so good at recovering that he's able to get out, maybe make another play on it, and then move back up, get that. So many follow-ups as well. That's why Torsos is so scary, because he makes these big plays. If they don't pan out, then they work out for his team.
Yeah, still puts his teammates in a good position. But we see Hawk almost able to get that one, able to finish it off eventually. And we're seeing Red Cordial.
It was Hawk. It was Hawk.
It was Hawk.
With a big goal off the top corner. Gets the follow-up as well. Gets the first goal for Long Red Cordial.
Yeah, and look, they're still in a tough position. I think Renegons, being 1 game out, it's best of 5. They only need 1 more. But if you show a bit of confidence, Hawk actually leading with goals, I believe.
Yeah, Hawk has certainly, for Long Red Cordial, had the most goals. He's been so involved in the attack. I haven't seen much from Lim. Well, obviously, we saw Walcott with the double, but Lim almost generating nothing, unfortunately, and he needs to step up. He's certainly a crucial player for Long Red Cordial, especially when it comes to those pass plays that we have seen in the past.
Yeah, Walcott and Hawk playing super confidently. Maybe Lim's just wanting to be that kind of I'm a defensive third player to open those guys up, but definitely not working.
Oh,
As we see
it
Shady.
turned around on them so fast. They thought they were in attack. Lim hits that forward, and all of a sudden, Torsos out of nowhere gets the dunk. It's straight across to Shady. I know, and Shady loves playing aggressive. He loves playing a trusting role.
Yeah.
So he's hanging out in the midfield, just hoping that Torsos wins or gets a 50-50, and it ends up being an open net for them.
That's what we were saying before about Torsos. It's like, even if he probably didn't get the touch he was quite after, but he got enough that it was able to put his teammate in a position to just score that one.
That was
easily.
a huge pinch from Express too. It almost gave a straight goal. If Hawk didn't get that big air dribble out of defense, would have been. Timmy Hee in chat as well. Those fireworks are also in celebration. We're all here celebrating RLO 100, and those fireworks obviously for RLO 100 as well. So make sure you tune in. Make sure you support. And as well, while we're here, I know we're in the middle of a game, but if you ever do want to support RLO and all the stuff they've done, they've thrown so much of their own money in and had so many community donations as well. But if you did want to support them, go down to the bottom of the Twitch stream right now and give them even just $5, and it means that they can do a lot more when it comes to OCE Rocket League. Always fantastic to celebrate them, but you could do a bit more as well.
Everyone could do a bit more, but
Wrong, I'm perfect.
Yeah, you've made that evident tonight, haven't you? No, but obviously, we've mentioned previously. I mean, you can't discount people like Dover. They've done way above and beyond as well. Not everyone can do more.
No, not everyone can do more than Dover.
Not Dover.
He's been great. He's even got a full-time job now, and he still does all this
Still
stuff.
able to.
Nolsky as well, full-time job, still does all this stuff. And you know what? When Dover and Nolsky got these full-time jobs, you know what they said? It wasn't, oh, hey guys, like, I can't do this thing. It was, hey guys, I'm now excited because I can afford to put more money into prize pools and stuff. That's the kind of attitude they have. They're so excited about Rocket League. They love it. It's why they put all this in, and also why they're still doing it. But screw Nolsky though, he's an idiot.
Toxic, mate.
Actually, so stupid. How does somebody like Nolsky get a PhD? That's the real question.
He's got a PhD.
Yeah.
Oh, good shit.
He didn't put it to work.
Okay, what was his PhD?
It was like physics or biology or something.
Dr.
Nolsky, and yet, where did that go? You know?
Rocket League, man.
Yeah,
he's the
Rocket League.
Professor Rocket League, Dr. Rocket League. I'm sure you could do that.
Yeah.
Not that anyone would.
I'd do
PhD in. You'd do it?
I'd try.
PhD in Rocket League.
Yeah.
Cool. Right.
There's nothing better to do.
Rocket League.
What is there in life? Nothing.
Just car soccer.
It's just an empty void, except for Rocket League.
Just hitting a ball around a pitch on a video game. That's what you need in your life. That's all you need in your life.
And these guys aren't just hitting the ball around a pitch. They're making plays.
Yeah, we see Torsos yet again. Lead his team 4-1. We did see a couple of strong players early on. Obviously taking a game away as Red Cordial, but Renecon's just too strong and just showing why they're world beaters, really.
Well, I mean, his team is not a world beater. Let's be clear about that.
Come on.
1/3 of the players.
1/3 of the players.
Actually,
hey, man, look. I feel like Torsos, it has been the Torsos show.
Yeah, and also Express and Shady, they have beaten Splice.
Yeah.
And they took NRG to a game 5. Reverse swept in that one too, though.
That's a bit of that's harsh.
Yeah.
I was watching that. I did watch that one.
Yeah, that one was kind of a bit more fair because it felt like NRG just kind of all of a sudden became the true NRG. And before that they weren't. And, well, Shady becoming the true Super Saiyan here. And you know what I like? Express was right in front of that. And if you have most other players, they would have stolen that. 100%. I would have stolen that.
Oh, I would have stolen that.
Kami would have stolen that. Torsos, CJ, 100% would have stolen
totally.
that.
Absolutely.
But Express and Shady, they're actually
He is
They're the boys.
the boys.
They're the boys.
Well,
Shady is the boys, but Shady and Express is also the boys.
I thought Renegades was the boys.
Well, yeah, the boys, but
Yeah, the
also
Yeah, the other
they're
boys.
the boys. You know,
Okay,
so
yeah.
those two, they've been together for so long, right?
Mhm.
And whenever I talk to them, they're like, "I love playing with Express," and Express is like, "Oh, I love playing with Shady." You know what they never say? "I love playing with CJ."
Yeah, he'll do. He'll just be a third.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, it's good to have CJ
Just get
CJ
Torsos in
around.
there.
Yeah. In fact, yeah. Surely it's just like a strict upgrade.
Yeah, look, I think something that doesn't probably get talked about, I mean, maybe it does get talked about enough, is CJ's role in being the hype man. Like, you know, CJ is there.
We certainly talk about it quite a bit.
Yeah, but he's there to be that guy that kind of picks the team up. And I don't think there's probably any other player in the region that does it, at least not to the level of
Not
CJ.
to the level of CJ,
No.
for sure. But Kami certainly does. Kami's one of those
Yeah.
guys. Siki can do it. Deke, funnily enough, can, I think, as well. But he's usually the one that needs to be picked up.
But there you go. There's like the top 4 teams all have a hype guy.
Yeah, well, actually, that was 3. That was
Three.
only
Sorry,
teams.
3.
I don't really know about 1 and E.
Okay.
Frenzy's very quiet.
Hmm.
Delusion certainly could be the hype man. Change is the captain. He's the one that has had the most, I guess, influence. But
And probably just have to mention real quick that
Yeah.
Pray for Drip
they take it.
got the
but
Brazil.
Yeah, it was also game 3 for them, so they made it through. But
made it through.
there was not much point of talking about that. We
No.
just
I
saw it
thought
run
what
away.
was more important was that they got the Brazil.
Mm.
I like seeing that. I still like seeing that.
Yeah. And also, Torsos has been playing quite well, playing quite fast.
Yeah, it's
Hasn't
the
looked
Torsos
too
show.
uncomfortable. And we haven't seen those misses. And that was funny because in the gauntlet, just 2 days ago, Torsos was looking so uncomfortable. He was not playing well. None of the Renegades guys were.
Mhm.
And yeah, he's come here. He's playing with Express and Shady.
Mm.
Is this going to be the roster move?
They're gonna have to be thinking about it now.
No,
surely.
not.
Come
I mean,
on.
Why
like-
would no? But why would Torsos?
Well, you were saying before it was just
I
a
was
strict
joking.
upgrade for CJ.
Yeah, well, it's a straight upgrade for Express and Shady. But is it a straight upgrade for a guy who just made Worlds? In first place, more notably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably
Oh,
wouldn't
I'd
switch anyone between out of
No,
order.
probably
and
not.
Icon,
But I'd still like to see it.
yeah, I mean it would be fun.
That'd be fun.
Maybe bring Shady into Renegades.
Ooh, with
Yeah.
Kami.
Yeah, oh wait, why with Kami?
No, I think that would just actually work fairly
Yeah.
well, to be honest. Yeah.
Well, that's the end of the series. So automatically, those guys. Sorry, not those guys.
Those guys.
Pray for Drip, also known as the Renacons, but actually named Pray for Drip. And if they win, surely Drip also wins and makes it through the promotion tournament. They've got guaranteed prize money now. They're in the top 4. They're in the semi-final.
Mhm.
They're likely going to be up against the Farm. On the other side of the bracket, we still have Justice Esports and the Bad Guys playing. And Justice Esports White and
Might see a Justice versus
Essir.
Justice.
we might see a Justice. Yeah, Justice
Yeah.
White just took down Essir. And if Justice Esports take down the Bad Guys,
Who's
we
in the
might
Bad
see a
Guys?
Justice versus Justice matchup, which would be kind of exciting. But I think it's time for a bit of a break.
Yep.
We just did a really long, hard best of 5, and it's also dinner time. So we're going to probably take a 5-minute break. We'll leave that up to Dover, and we'll come back very shortly. Stay tuned. We'll be back with the semi-final.
are so thin. I'm sinking in the hollow ground. Nothing can stop me wanting you somehow. I won't let it die. I can feel you when you're not around. When the night gets cold, I won't be alone. We won't be alone.
Yes. Who's on the phone? Oh, is that the... Oh, no, that's Kim's phone.
RLO number 100, and it's the 100th semi-final as well. But we've got a bit of a surprise. We've got Justice Esports up against Justice Esports.
Who's going to win?
I think Justice Esports. So we're guaranteed a Justice Esports team in the grand final. Both Justice Esports team, Justice Esports and Justice Esports White, guaranteed money. $60 to the loser of this match, and minimum $120 to the winner as well. And I think it's been not super surprising to see Justice White move up. I don't know why the teams swapped over at the very beginning of that animation, but Mr. Shushu, Zuko, Azza, they've been doing really well in the Nordic Gaming Cup, the Nordic Asgard Cup.
Yeah, I think being their academy team, obviously you might want to favor the regular Justice team, but I think there is an argument to say that White could maybe potentially take it out. Maybe potentially could do. But look, we'll see where it goes. Obviously, Justice Esports playing with the stand-in or a new player. It's a bit undecided with Change. So I guess we'll see how they work as a trio.
Change instead of Steve certainly feels like a downgrade. Well, definitely in terms of mechanics. And that'll be the big question around the core Justice Esports roster. On the other side, Justice Esports White certainly have the chance to climb up, and if they've been doing well in the Nordic Asgard Cup, and Justice Esports have been doing poorly, I would say, in the glove. They lost to the farm last week. Then they're certainly beatable. You have to expect that the core... What happens if the core roster loses this match? What do you do if you're Justice Esports?
I think it's a winner-takes-all situation, right?
Yeah, winner gets
takes all.
Winner gets the better contracts.
Yeah,
they get the full Justice Esports title.
Only if it goes the one.
Honestly, I would be happy, and I'm expecting Yeatsy to end up on Justice Esports White, no matter how this goes. If he wins, even if he wins, I'll be like, yeah, we'll prefer Mr. Shushu, thank you.
Really? I didn't think so. But yeah, I mean, look, it'd be interesting. Change though, is what's going on with him?
Well, I think 1 and E, they weren't quite happy with their performance across the top 4 finals. I know Change certainly wasn't happy with his own performance. Right. So I think they're looking for that bright spark to take them into not top 4, but top 2 next season.
Yeah, okay.
And I think Steve is the one that they're looking at the moment to make that happen. But he's not here on the pitch. 1 and E are not playing today, and these guys are. And when it comes to, I guess, the core roster of Justice Esports, we do see a player like Misty, who, of all the players, you're the most tied to.
I'm the most tied to.
Yeah, you were the one who stole his spot at the Gfinity Elite Series Season 2.
Oh, yeah, I don't think he's happy with me very much at the moment.
Well, is anyone?
Probably not.
I mean, I've had to smell you this entire time.
Yeah, well, you invited me to... for wine,
well, to be fair, you know, we made the smells in the first place.
Moving on. Yeah, but we are seeing a Justice versus Justice rivalry. And, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of curious how it ends up. But I think, yeah, winner takes all. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, and as well, Justice Esports to get here, they took down the bad guys in a 3-2. And we've even seen Billy, he's off to watch Attack on Titan.
Oh.
He's done. He's going to watch some big dudes and dudettes trying to end humanity. And I'm all down for that.
You down for it?
It's a great anime.
I don't really like it that much. I know I'm going to have a lot of hate in the chat, but I don't know.
No?
Attack on Titan, no, it just wasn't my thing.
Oh.
I know it's meant to be like
I enjoyed it. I haven't seen it since like season 1.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe I'm missing all the worst parts of it. We are missing some of the worst parts of this game. I guess the start of any game is always a bit awkward. Haven't seen much from either team yet.
Both teams just really
We just saw
sussing each other
Yeatsy
out.
again with his classic move,
Which is?
missing the ball completely. Yeah.
Yep, understandable.
Unfortunate for Yeatsy, but he's gained that reputation. I think he needs to build on that if he wants to maintain on the Justice Esports main roster. On the other side as well, Change.
Yep.
He has been around for a while now, and he certainly was on the bubble. He worked with Frenzy a lot.
Yep.
He really grinded out, so it is great to see him at the top.
Kind of really interested to see those two breaking up. Like, if that's in fact what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a surprise. Just like that shot from Misty, it ended up being behind the defender. A surprised angle in the end, because it looked like it was just going to be a shot into the front part of the net, and it goes all the way to the back.
No, whatever works. They get the lead. And I think the big thing to talk about, you know, obviously we're talking about whether Justice White can actually snag this victory. But I think the biggest story is that the bad guys, being the ex-Manlet, or that's what they were called previously, actually losing to Justice Esports. And I don't know about you, but I think I was expecting the Manlets to take it on.
It was always going to be close, I think.
Okay.
You know, Justice Esports and Manlet, when they have their core roster, Justice Esports would take it 50% of the time.
Yep.
So certainly the bad guys were the favorites. But sometimes you just can't close out a series. I'm not sure exactly what happened because we didn't get to see it.
Yep.
And I know that Philly certainly not happy about it.
Yeah, I think
as well.
Either way, you'd probably argue that the bad guys are at least better off favorites than Justice White. So it's at, you know, complete minimum, it's a good sign for the Justice team.
Well, not a lot to say about Justice White either. Azza has certainly been plugging away. I see him a lot in ranked, and he's played under a bunch of teams, including the Irrelevance, to some success. I think as well he played for Greatest Gaming Gamers for a while, and he has potential there, and that's exactly why he made it past Essir, which is Rise Esports with Movie Grave, and across Feels Chromosome Man, I think it is.
But yeah, like, he's one of those players. We were talking about Homie earlier.
Yeah.
He's one of those players also that's kind of just like probably close-ish to the top end of the bubble, and we could be seeing something come out of him maybe in the next year or so.
I certainly think if he puts in the work, he will be able to. And they have been putting on some shots. I think it's all going to be about punishing those mistakes, getting some good speed going. Maybe they have more. Maybe there's more than meets the eye when it comes to Justice White. And I guess this is the series that really tests, because we haven't seen them a lot on any stream. This may be their first real chance, because they made it into the top 4. They made it into prize money to be on stream, to have people watching them on a large stage outside of the Nordic Asgard Cup. And by large stage, I mean to 64 people.
Big stages here. Yeah, no, I mean, like, that's obviously Nordic are doing their streams. I think they've had a few showings in the finals into that one. But yeah, like, good showing, top 4. Secured, and look, you can't expect too much more out of them.
Well, the thing is,
but I'd like to see it.
The thing as well, with that top 4 secure from Justice Esports White, Justice Esports, pray for Drip, obviously not a team, and the Farm are all in the gauntlet.
Yep.
Which means that Justice Esports White have qualified already for the glove. They've made it.
Oh,
They're
good
the
point.
top team, and it's just based on whether they perform even better throughout this week. The glove is going to be on this week. We're going to enter. We need to find 2 teams for the gauntlet, so we'll do 2 iterations of the glove. One this week to get our first team, another next week to get our second team into the gauntlet.
Considering there's been so many roster shuffles, which teams are in the glove?
In the glove,
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's still all the teams you expect. Moving up from 1&E, Manlet / the bad guys. Edge are still in there. Justice, I think I mentioned them, but Justice are in there.
Yep.
And there's some teams down the bottom that I can't remember who got knocked out, so I don't want to list the wrong team.
Okay.
But plenty of teams still in the glove. And there's only going to be 3 teams in the gauntlet at the moment. With the Renegades they're going away for a few months or a couple of months.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yes.
realize they were going for an extended period of time.
They're going from Dallas all the way to at least Valencia. Yeah. Which is quite a while. It's like 7 weeks.
Yeah, right.
Potentially longer.
Good on them. So finding some teams to replace them in the gauntlet then, eh?
Yeah.
All right.
And here as well, we actually have Shushu who was around quite a while ago. He was playing well in the Peanut Gallery TV, the Throwdown Rocket League, not the Throwdown, just the Peanut Gallery Rocket League OCE Championship. They almost made it to the top 8
Yeah,
in that
look,
tournament.
Shushu is one of those players that's been around forever. I even remember Shushu from Kangaroos. In those tournaments, obviously, like we were talking about it previously, like super casual. Players like
Yeah.
myself, who was like, right at the very, very bottom. We always hated playing players like Shushu because he was like one of the only players who could air dribble at the time.
And he was a massive ball chaser. And I think that's also what he's improved on too. So now being a ball chaser helps your mechanics, but in getting in the way of teams. Now he's rotating way better. It's good to see him being a smarter player. And Zuko, certainly an up-and-coming player. I've talked with him a bit. He's had some opportunities where he's played well in, is what I would mostly say, but not a lot of them. He hasn't been playing for a long time, and that could go against them. Oh, missed the
What are you doing?
Yeezy as well. They had a completely open net. It was 3v0. 3v0, and they couldn't score.
I don't know. There might be like a Justice Esports throw sort of thing coming along. Yeah, it could be a bit scripted. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. Yeezy does make
Finally
up
fixed
for it for sinking that one, and it's a good pass across from Change. You expect Change to be that support player, to be getting the passes across.
Yeah, and considering that we're likely seeing Change in that 3rd position, trying to find a replacement for Steve. Maybe not. Who knows?
This is also an interesting talk about Yeezy and Change, who are both known for their 3rd man positioning, for their very defensive positioning.
Yep.
Who's going to be the one that's more aggressive, or do they take turns? Do they become more of a clean 3-man rotation? And does Change and Yeezy gain extra confidence to go forward?
So in that sense, that Misty really has to take over the role of being more aggressive player.
Well, not even necessarily. I think pure 3-man rotations are the best opportunity. It kind of depends on how these guys adapt. But that's certainly the question on whether this Justice Esports roster will be successful at all. Whether they do adapt, whether they become 3-man, or if they go back to some of their old habits, whether Yeezy or Change just move back and become kind of unimpactful from being so defensive.
Yeah, absolutely. But we are seeing maybe an open net coming out from Shushu.
They tie it up.
Travels all the way from the other side of the field. And Shushu able to beat out to tie up the game, minute 30.
I mean, it doesn't feel like many opportunities granted for Justice White, but it was just a long shot. It caught off an overcommittance, and they put it through.
Yeah, look, past couple series were quite exciting. These ones, very low scoring games. So apologies about that at home. Not too many goals just yet. But I think going into, obviously game it's a 5 or best of 5 rather. So plenty of potential to see all that coming in. 1 goal.
Yeah, you might just need to move the mic a bit closer.
Yeah,
I'll just the
there we go.
2-finger distance, and
2-finger distance.
that was tough for Yeezy. I mean, for the defense, as Yeezy gets that past both of them, and it's just a solid shot. But the defense was not out challenging.
Yeah, a bit of an unfortunate touch there by Shu, but able to capitalize on that one as the core roster of Justice Esports able to take that 1 goal ahead.
That's a shame, because I was hoping that Justice Whites would be challenging them closely.
Yeah, that's right. Azza Looking to try to get that aggression on, but can't quite get it. Yeatsy gets the dunk on, trying to dribble it out of defense is Zuko. But Misty gets demoed out. Potential shot coming out of Shushu. A second one coming out from Zuko. Is it going to roll in? Not quite. A little bit wide.
Zuko had a great challenge there, a great bump on the guy in net and almost opened it up. It was unfortunate the shot was off wide.
Yeah, they've had a few potential plays coming out, but just unable to capitalize on it just yet. Good touch, second touch coming out from Azza, but no one really able to follow that one up.
Misty and Change finding some good synergy in the midfield too with his passing.
That's right. There's a lot of passing plays coming out from Justice. Not too many goals coming out, but all they really need is the one to finish that one off. And we do see another shot coming out from Change, and we see the 2-goal lead, which should take out the game.
This is lucky. The fact that he hit the side post and still gets the follow-up, it bounced back to him. Bit fortunate, but they were going to win the game anyway. And that just completely secured it. Even Misty putting in chat that it was calculated.
Bit of a calculated there.
And they're going to be 2-0 in the lead. And when you have a team like this, with Justice Esports main roster up against the Justice Esports secondary roster, you do not expect that a comeback is even possible.
Yeah, obviously that third goal there really captures the momentum that they've got at the moment. Obviously the first 2 games, at least up until the end there, it was very close and not a whole lot of goals happening, but I think Justice original roster, it's either Justice White or Justice Esports. Justice Esports really finding their momentum. They should be able to take out this third game.
Well, for most of that game as well, they were in parity in terms of shots, and it wasn't until the end where Misty just started putting on a ton of shots that made the opportunities happen and gave Justice Esports main roster the chance to take this one out. They're 1 game away now from a grand final berth from $120 as Justice White. They have earned themselves better than maybe they could have even expected. They took down some of their biggest rivals, including Essir, aka Rise Backwards, who last week in RLO 3v3 did take it out and got into the glove and proved that they may have been the better team, but not today.
Just looking at that game, however, is Vertex? Who's that one?
Vortex. Yeah.
Vortex. Who's that? Do you know who that
Vortex.
is that literally his player name?
Yeah, Vortex.
I've never heard of that guy before.
What do you mean? He's
Vortex?
been around for a while. What are you talking about, buddy?
I literally don't know who that guy is.
He's a bubble player as well, but he's played on a bunch of teams.
Okay.
And he likes Mr. Beast, according to his Twitter.
Good on you, Mr. Beast. Give us some money. Sponsor the next...
Yeah. When is
next
Mr.
RLO?
Beast sponsoring a Rocket League tournament? That's the real question. I need charity, Mr. Beast.
We all do. We're into car soccer. We definitely need some charity from Mr. Beast. But we did miss the first goal coming out of Justice Esports. And as we were saying before, that momentum after the last game is really going to follow through, and I don't see it stopping.
No, Misty got that first goal, and it was a pretty plain Jane one. And that's going to be the problem for Justice White. You can't let goals in like a leaky tap. Every single goal, especially against Justice Esports, who are more experienced than you, is just going to be so hard to come back from. So if you're giving them away for free, it is going to almost certainly end up in a loss.
Yeah, definitely Justice Esports now up 2 games. Yeah, it's going to take a bit of a miracle to come back from this one.
Also, can you have a look up how Edge went? They're not called Edge in this tournament.
Yeah. The Lilies, I think. I didn't even see them in the bracket.
They
wonder if they didn't even make it out of
They're playing with Cobbo, and I know that Team Esper, the organisation, having a very close look at this team.
Ooh. Insider information there.
Insider information.
I don't even...
Well, look.
Oh, Team Lele. They lost to Justice White there. So Justice White, who we're watching now, actually...
Well, Team Lele were the favourites in that one. They were
Yeah.
the top seed for that match. So Justice White causing the quote-unquote upset, but maybe it's not an upset. We don't know how that team goes now with Cobbo on it.
Yeah, unless they didn't show up. Rothy's saying they didn't show up.
It was a
So-
3-0 and then
Oh,
a
no.
4-1. So those
I did say
those
that they
scores are
played.
indicating that they played. Unless you mean that they didn't show up, as in they played poorly on the day, and that's a terrible excuse.
Yeah,
Oh, we just played badly that day. We're like, why didn't you play well?
Oh, they just did. They just played badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but Lele's a little bit unfortunate there. But Justice White securing the top 4, beat Rise, beat out Lele's, and now it looks like they're probably not going to beat the core roster of Justice.
And they're not going to be the core roster of Team Espa.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
It's going to be Justice White that's the new core roster of Team Espa.
Oh, we're hoping for Justice White to be the new core roster of Justice. But that didn't pan out.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to be the case, unfortunately. Hazza was looking close.
Yeah. Azza just blocked his team out there, I think. And Misty's just going to be able to dribble back in, but Shushu able to save that one. Continuing on, only one person to beat. Yeezy on the recovery and clearing it out there. Only one goal in. They could do it, but as you said before, one goal in a game like this, in a series like this, that's enough. That's enough for Justice.
It kind of is, but one goal's not really going to keep you safe at all. And this is a big passing play. If that pass was a little further back for Azza, it would have been a goal, but it was just too close to the defender.
Yeah, Shushu trying to make something work for his team. Looking to go for a solo play into the top corner, but can't quite make it. Blocked out by Change. And we see Azza trying to clear it out. Shushu into the center. Azza not quite ready for that one. There's Change, clears it out into Yeezy. And with only 40 seconds left, they need to make every opportunity here count.
Ooh, disaster as the last player from Justice White, sailed past that ball. They've set up some great opportunities and yet haven't been able to finish them off.
Change looks to have control of this one. Hazza in a bit of an awkward position, and Yeezy almost has the shot on.
I did not like that from Azza. He was backwards. He had 2 players behind him. He could have just let his team have it, and he ended up getting in the way.
And crossbar after crossbar. Unable to get that second goal, but perhaps they don't need it. Last opportunity coming from Zuko, but is grounded. And we see Justice Esports, not Justice White, make it through to the grand final to guarantee themselves $120.
$120 and $60 as well for Justice White, who have done better than all expectations. They've qualified for the glove. They've made it made it to probably one of their first ever prize pools. Definitely as a team, I think. Outside of maybe, I don't know if they won Nordic Asgard Cup, but they're currently at the top of the table for the Nordic Asgard Cup Pro League, and they're 5-0 as of this week. So they're certainly an up-and-coming team. Congratulations to them for getting into fourth place. Justice Esports are going to move on into the grand final, and we're going to have that coming up next. It's the match of the day. It is the grand final. It's going to be Justice Esports against what we'd expect to be
Renacons.
Pray for Drip, Renacons.
Pray for Drip.
Up next. Don't go anywhere.
Took me down, had me feeling alone. So long, darling. Right here and now, we can try this again. If you're in, I'm in, darling. I finally see what I need to be free. Far from what I was led to believe. No holding back, I've made up my mind. Seeing what's next, I'm not sure what I'll find. Holding the key firmly in my hands. I'm looking forward, I know where I stand. And this is it, I've nothing to lose. Now is the right time, I'm making my move. I wanna hide now. You helping me down. I wanna hide now. You helping me down. Holding the key firmly in my hands. I'm looking forward, I know where I stand. And this is it, I've nothing to lose. Now is the right time, I'm making my move. I wanna hide now. You helping me down. I wanna hide now.
set. Wait, Shh.
Good evening, everyone. It is time for the grand final of the RLO 3v3 100. I hope you heard me cuss on camera because I certainly was cussing a lot on the break. All about that Dota Auto Chess update. They removed my Medusa Stone Gauge duration by 1 second. What's with that?
Crazy. I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm fuming. I'm absolutely fuming.
Yeah, me too. But we are going to head into the grand final. Justice Esports up against Pray for Drip. We're finally going to have a proper cast, I'd say.
I think so. I think
because we've seen all of these players before, so I can't sit there and jibber jabber on about Torsos. He's a player. He's been playing the Rocket League game.
He has been playing.
Yeah, now we're in Justice Esports. Pray for Drip. The winner gets $260. The loser only 120.
Oh, still a good amount.
120
of money
is the original first place prize before Courier Lord came in and was like, bam! Let's make this $500. What a lad. Love Courier.
It's great.
It's actually my favorite
$500
person.
$500 in 2019. It's not as common as it once was.
No, well, it's sort of more than what we used to have in terms of regular tournaments, but also the problem is it's way less than the huge prize pools we get today in terms of OCE RLCS qualifiers, in terms of the World Championship, in terms of Dream Hacks, everything.
Oh, but for a local tournament, fucking killing it. Love it. $500. It's good.
Bloody hell.
Bloody hell.
Bloody oath, mate.
Massive. All right, so I think all the players are...
No, we're waiting on Justice. And apparently Torsos is well rested now. He's well rested gang.
He wasn't well rested before.
Well, I mean, he changed his name. He wasn't well rested gang before, if I recall.
I don't know. He's playing.
Maybe he
He
was.
played pretty damn well in the previous series.
Yeah, and he's gonna be watching Drip as well. I think maybe we get Express, we get Shady, we get Torsos, we get Kami, and we all watch Drip re-qualify for RLCS again tonight. That's why they were praying for Drip. Pray and Drip for chat.
Pray for Drip.
For Drip A. For Drip A looking to get into RLCS. That's all we ever wanted, was to have an OCE player in real RLCS, not fake OCE RLCS. the Gfinity RLCS. It's not even RLCS. It's the road to RLCS. It's the Gfinity Rocket League OCE Masters, and the top two get to go. He's the first OCE player to ever be in. Well, actually, no, because the World Championship is real RLCS too.
Yeah, that's international.
Yeah,
But he's the first one to go
to be in
overseas
real
an international
RLCS
team.
league play.
Yes.
Bam.
Yes, the real one, not the fake
Yeah,
one.
not the fake one.
Not the fake one.
So, certainly expecting a lot from Pray for Drip, but Justice Esports have a chance, I would say.
Yeah.
Bring in change. They're playing decently in the last series, but when we looked at Pray for Drip earlier, they were pulling big plays off. They were playing very fast. They were getting really good shots on. I don't know how you play up against that when you yourself, Justice Esports, are bringing in a new member as well. It's a similar story between both these teams because Torsos not a regular player, Change not a regular player, and this is why Torsos is so good.
Yeah, look, you're saying that they have a chance. I'm a bit skeptical. Obviously, we watched Torsos play in the previous series, and he was just like, it was the Torsos show. He was getting goal after goal, weird angle after crazy angle, and he's already got his first goal 4 seconds. Yeah.
Also, this is getting really hard because both Torsos and Shady are called Drip Prayer Gang, and Express has changed his name to have the pray symbol as well. But the only way to know the difference between the two is the car that they use. Shady, obviously, the one in the Octane, and that's the way we're going to have to differentiate them.
Yeah, I guess Torsos still using this. Oh my god.
Is that one's for Drip as well?
That's for Drip.
Both
All
of them
these
are
goals
for
are for
Drip.
Drip.
Every goal that Torsos scores is a goal that Drip will score later on today.
We might have an early night and have a bit of a nap before.
Yeah, I can't wait to have a nap. It's 5 a.m. This is a celebration of RLO and of OCE, but so is that. If you're not there supporting the big Drip, I don't know if you're really Australian.
seen a couple pray for drips in chat. I think we've got to see a whole lot more of those. Expecting him and hoping for him to make it through. But yeah, I guess we've said enough that we could say about all these players. We know that Torsos is extremely good, but we'll just continue on now. Justice looking a little bit lost as we're seeing a lot of shots coming out.
It's just a straight up mechanics difference between what we've seen. And even look at that. Misty slowing the ball down so much that it gives the opportunity for Renekons to come straight back in and put one in for Drip.
Yeah, seeing it hasn't really left their defensive path just yet. In at least a minute or so, we'll see a shot coming out from Express in the top left corner, saved out, but not a whole lot of hope just yet for Justice.
And you even see the turning speed of Torsos as well. The beat out Change, who was already on the wall. And Change trying to play up to the pace, and that's so difficult.
Yeah, Yeezy trying to bang it out of their defense. Change trying to follow it up, but intercepted by Torsos. I do recognize the car now. That makes it a little bit easier. Express looking popping into the center. No one quite there. Yeezy interchange. Good passing plays. Now a little bit of hope coming out. Misty trying to get the second touch. Interchange, but he can't quite get the angle to finish that one off.
Yeah, Change didn't finish that. He should be a really accurate player, especially as the player who was the third man for Delusion and Frenzy. And that one just not good enough, despite Misty having a great setup. And this one, no! Changes missed again!
Misty trying to get on the backboard, but a bit too quick. There's always someone on the backboard. However, good shot coming out. And clears out. I don't know who that was. I think that was Shady. Was it Shady and Torsos with the same name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Express is there. You know he's Express because his name's Express.
Yeah, I caught that one. Misty trying to go for a shot, but just not letting anyone in. Double commits coming out as it is rejected out by Torsos. Express looking to go for pop-up. Can't quite get the shot off. Express again trying to find the backboard, and we should be able to see a goal there coming out from Shady.
Shady, yeah, and you know, just beating out Change to the ball. He's been struggling. Yeezy as well, struggling today. And I think we've seen a lot from Misty. He certainly had that big opportunity off the off the corner, and yet it's still not enough. I think either Yeezy or Change need to find something deep down, pull something out of the well, because neither of them have been getting the touches they want.
Yeah, and we're seeing, as we saw in the previous series, there's always that one person staying upfield, looking for those denial plays there.
Oh, if this series goes the way that this one is, this game is, it's going to be a long 4-0. It's a 7-game series. Both of these teams tied up. $260 on the line.
This is almost as such a terrible build-up as the Game of Thrones season.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. No spoiler. You're spoiling
I spoiled
it for me.
I spoiled it for the whole
You're spoiling me that the show's bad in the last season.
Oh, look, I don't think anyone can spoil that for you.
The
Spoils
thing
itself,
is,
though.
like, I always wait for the season to finish and then I'll
it's
watch it
finished.
all at once. And then,
Yeah.
well, I wait also for
Yeah,
like some
okay.
high quality streaming or something like that. Something that, you know, I don't like pirating, so you know how it is.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that one got millions and millions of Australians pirating that one.
Yeah. A bunch of scurvy dogs, those guys, but this might be number 6.
Express
It's not
into
in
the
yet.
center, cleared out by Misty. And yeah, oh, look,
Well, look at
obviously
him just beat Yeezy to the ball.
every time.
Like, Yeezy has the advantage there, but Express is so fast compared to the Justice Esports roster. It's showing the individual difference between these players.
Misty, he didn't go for the risky play that he has been. Didn't want to go for the shot, wanted to go for the center instead.
Yeah,
But
very
no one really,
unselfish.
yeah, no one really to follow that one up. And that's what we're seeing time and time again. Even though they are occasionally trying to set something up, there's no one really to follow that one. And even when they are, Renekons just beating them out to the ball and punishing them.
I think the Renekons as well, they have to be careful not to take it too lightly. There's certainly the chance that after taking a big 5-0 victory, you can just start relaxing, start making plays like that from Torsos, where you're just like, whatever, lol, I'll just go for the ball and see what happens. So game 2, maybe that could be the turnaround. Maybe they do become complacent, and we'll have to find out whether that's the case.
I see some Scarabs coming out. Do you think they're that confident yet?
No.
No.
I don't even. It's not even about confidence. I just think they hate Scarab players. I couldn't imagine ever Torsos
BM.
bringing anything other than the Dominus.
Yeah, no, that's fair. He probably hasn't changed it ever. Did he try the Octane at any point?
He has. He
Okay.
has. He's tried it a few times, and he's
Okay.
always just not been impressed with it.
Yeah.
The Dominus gets really strong shots that he really likes, and he's
Yeah.
also just at this point so used to the Dominus that
Yeah,
he
you
would
don't
never
change.
change. Yeah. It's just harder to flick sometimes on the Octane as well.
Yep. Absolutely.
Smaller surface area to get them.
Mhm.
Pray for Drip taking the first game 5-0 and looking towards game number 2 and potentially seeing if they can run away with the entire series.
Yeah, I think if EG and Drip can play like, I guess how they're playing against this opposition, then it's a good sign.
It's a lot of prayers for Drip. That's all I can say.
A lot of press. There were a few people asking what we actually meant by that, and apologies for not explaining that. EG has Drip A, ex-OCE player, playing in the promotional playoffs, so they actually got 7th to 8th place in the RLCS season, so they actually have to work their way back into that. And that's tonight, or at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, however you see that. And we're really hoping that Drip makes it back into the NA RLCS, because he's really OCE's only hope in NA and EU. He's the
Yeah.
only player.
And also those 2 goals. I don't know if this is necessarily complacency, but this is certainly a pretty bad kickoff. Express just
Yeah.
completely missed it.
And we see 4 Drip as well.
Yeah. All goals, no matter who scores it, apparently is now for Drip A.
Everything's for Drip.
Well, I don't think they're doing any favors by letting in those goals.
Look, if any team can get away with giving away 2 goals in the first 30 seconds, it's definitely these guys.
Might be a nice little wake up too, because they certainly had that. Like after going 5-0 up, they could have got really complacent. They could have let things get away from them, and now they have to put in the work. With 4 minutes remaining, there's plenty of time.
Yeah, would you say that Justice are just going to want to play this defensively, or are they going to want to be hungry for this third goal?
I think they play everything defensively. I think that's the real question. So they're not going to have much of a choice. He saved pass, but he almost got the angle.
Yeah, we're seeing a few more opportunities come out for them. They're playing a bit more confident. Look, they don't really have much to lose. They're not expected to win this game at all. So why not give it a good whole crack?
Certainly. Oh, and that's a big miss by Torsos. Almost said Drip A. There's a lot of Drip A's on the field. But Torsos returning in kind the mistakes that were happening in the first game by Justice themselves.
Yeah, Misty trying to be a bit of a nuisance, but Express tries to dribble it out into the offense, trying to set something up for his team, but cleared out. Misty trying to put that pressure on. I think they will want to look for this third goal here, but I guess the pressure and the confidence is really starting to show. 3 minutes in, or 3 minutes left rather. You're gonna have to push for it.
Certainly, but it's all about standard play right now. You know, it's not until about a 1 minute left, 30 seconds per goal, that you start playing extra aggressive. Realistically, if you're playing properly. These guys are going to be pretty comfortable. They know that they can get 2 goals during the course of this game.
Yeah, Express trying to look for that center. Not really happening just yet, as we see the shot coming on from Tors. Can't quite make it happen. Counter attack now coming through. Misty is waiting upfield. Can't quite connect with it. Yeezy trying to get it over 2 players. However, Shady trying to clear it out. Trying to put that aggression on. We see his shot coming out. Again, counter attack coming out from Misty. Shot or pass into Yeezy. And just a bit of a back and forth. No one's really doing anything with it just yet.
No, we saw some chances from Renacons, but Torsos as well. He's just taking shots. He's not trying to set up passing plays to Express and Shady, and I don't think that's what they're used to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeezy trying to go for the center, trying to get his team in yet another goal, but defense on the Renacons a little bit too strong at the moment. Pops it up, a little bit awkward for Yeezy, tries to get another touch on it into the center from Express. But counter-attack coming out from Misty. Misty has a shot, but finds the backboard. Can't quite find anything else just yet. Good bump coming out. Misty has a bit of time to play with. Bit of an awkward touch coming out. And double touch maybe coming out from Torsos. Can't quite make it happen. Change, counter-attack coming out. Misty booms it upfield. And I think Shady just able to reply with that pretty quickly. Can't quite get the snipe going, however.
Really felt like Justice Esports have picked up the pace, and they're getting some good midfield passing too, and that's not only giving them opportunities, but shutting down the chances here for Pray for Drip.
And you're saying before, it's that last minute or so that they're really going to have to start pushing for it. It doesn't actually look like they've had it really in that game at all, this game at all. Like they've been playing pretty reserved. They haven't had too many chances. The passing plays haven't been off, and definitely the solo plays that we have been seeing from Torsos they're nowhere to be seen just yet either.
Yeah, and he's just been going for shots, and I think that might be the indicator of the difference between these two teams. Instead of going for big plays, it's more just, okay, if I just take a shot, maybe we'll get a goal. This one could be it right here with the demo. It goes high off Shady's touch.
And Change able to bring it back into the offense. Can't quite find the dunk as Shady pushes it forward. A shot opportunity coming out from Torsos. Can't quite make it happen. Express leaves it for Shady. Shady tries to get the dunk on. 10 seconds left. Express is waiting up in defense, but I don't think it's 5 seconds left. There's nothing that they can really do just yet.
No, and that is all she wrote. Justice Esports take game number 2, and they bring the series back in contention. All of a sudden, from a 5-0 defeat to a 2-0 victory. Justice Esports doing well. Yeetzy and Misty both stepping up, and I don't think Change had to do too much in that game.
No, he's look, Misty and Yeetzy. I think especially Misty rather. He got 5 shots on. He's leading that aggression. Got a lot of shots on. Only got 1 goal out of it. But like he's leading the charge, helping his teammate there, and Change just able to be that kind of
similar number of shots from both teams.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the exact same amount of shots, but a lot of them from Torsos, who ended up going for shots straight on net that were very savable instead of anything that was setting up a goal for himself or his teammates.
Yeah, he's really one of those players that he goes for those montage plays. He goes for those risky plays. He goes for the double touches. And look, we didn't really see that at all coming out last game, but I think he probably knows that. And he's probably going to play a little bit more confidently. And
maybe go for
take
some more
those risks.
passes, maybe see if he can find Expression Shady, because he's certainly the most aggressive player right now for that team. So it's also up to him to create the goal opportunities.
And that also gives Justice a little bit of confidence, which is probably what they were lacking, especially in the first game. But we do see the first goal coming out from Torsos.
Completely caught off guard.
Yeah, unfortunate. Look, I saw the idea coming out from Misty, looking for the pass into the center, but just gets intercepted and leads to the first goal.
The thing is as well, Change pushed up for that pass, and then all of a sudden it was immediately intercepted. Before even Change was close to having that opportunity, and that's what left the overcommit. It was almost a kickoff goal, and kind it is. Oh, this time it's Torsos with this goal in the net. That's his second goal of the game. Yeetzy tried everything he could to get it away, and yet 20 seconds is all it took.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a panic hit there. Passes are right in, and the Renecon's able to capitalize on that one. They're 2 goals up, 20 seconds into the game, which is a good, strong start for them.
Very strong start. Renecons have certainly picked up the pace again, started to find everything that they needed to do, and put the ball back on the mark.
And we do see a double commit coming out there. If the Renecons can get a counter attack, they might be able to get a play happening. Beats the first one. Yeetzy is back, however. Clears it out into the backboard, and Misty, unfortunate as the angle didn't quite add up for him. Express looking to go for a solo play. Can he beat out Yeetzy? No, he can't. As Yeetzy clears it out into the center from Express, but unable to make anything work with it just yet. Change looks to clear it out. And Torsos trying to get a bit tricky with it. Can't quite make anything happen, but he does. One of the fastest players on the pitch yet again, goes up for it, beats everybody to the ball, and just sends it downfield.
Yeah, it's just all about that striking, as You might need to move your microphone closer again.
Oh, there we go.
Anytime you take a drink, you don't need to move it.
Hey, there's a microphone in front of my face.
Yeah.
Where else will I drink from?
Yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Just hit the microphone there, and that's it's 3-0. And it seems like it's much the same as game number 1.
Cleared out. Misty in a bit of an awkward spot, followed up by Torsos, unable to reach a teammate there as Express. Just capitalizing on that one. Express finished it off. We're seeing quite the lead now.
We also see Torsos just chasing everyone, and it actually was Shady who got the demo on the first run, chased Yeatsy, who did do his best. He came off the back of the net, off the top of the net, tried to make the save, but Express found the right angle.
Demos for drip.
Yeah.
Everything's for drip here. Even the not so good players are for drip.
Oh. I'd rather not, because
rather
we want Drip to win.
Yeah, but like
I don't want
any
Classics
energy.
and Corrupted G to win, but I want Drip to win.
Yeatsy a little bit awkward off the wall there. Change again. However, cleared out by Misty. Express. We'll follow it up into Shady, and Shady has an open net, but can't quite capitalize on it. Torsos can't quite finish it off as Change finally clears it out of defense. Shady, I don't know if he meant to miss that one, but he does beat the first one. Misty.
Did you
followed by
say I
Change.
don't think he meant to miss
I don't know.
that
I don't
one?
know.
No, he
He had the
didn't,
constant pressure.
he didn't
building
mean
up.
to miss the open net.
No, not the open net, but the defense. He was on defense.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's on defense and he missed it.
That open net opportunity went whistling past. 4-0 though, so they're not going to be too fussed about anything in this
Plenty
game.
of time, plenty of goals to work with. But look, that's what we saw the second game. Is I don't know if they got complacent, but they definitely weren't playing like they were in the first game. But yet again, they're playing like they were. So that's a good signs from them. Shot coming out from Yeatsy, however, does wait upfield.
Much
Grabs the
better.
pass.
Much better from Justice. As Misty comes off the roof, gets the pass to Yeatsy, and he gets a surprising amount of power to get that pass Shady.
However, they still have 3 goals to come back from. Very difficult situation for Justice. But momentum is everything, right? However, as I say that, shots coming out. Change is the first one to clear that one out. Misty recovers quite nicely as Torsos. Last man back, tries to clear it out. Express follows it up, passes into Shady. Can't quite beat the first defender there. As he follows through into the center. Torsos, opportunity for him, but a little bit too strong on the defense for Justice. Last man back is Express, but should be able to take it pretty easy there. Spoke too soon. Misty into the center. Can't quite find the teammate, however. Now we see the shot. Now coming out from Torsos. And yet again, we're seeing Torsos, that offensive mastermind.
Yeah, and that wasn't for Drip, apparently.
That one wasn't for Drip.
Yeah, they didn't say it, so it's obviously not for Drip. But
I'll say
the
it.
way that Torsos has been playing, certainly good signs. And also putting themselves in a spot where they could take almost $100 each away from this tournament, from winning the grand final. $260 total. Of course, it is only game 3, but the way these games have been going, extremely one-sided.
Yeah, pretty dominant lead for the boys, the Renacons. Express trying to find the backboard. Misty is a bit of an awkward position. Can't quite get the touch that he was after the offensive player there. Yeatsy, again, in a bit of an awkward spot. And there is an open net, but Express wasn't able to get it quite on net. Shady, rather, into the center. Torsos is up quick. Yeatsy trying to follow it through into change. Misty should be able to follow this one. No one quite there for the Renacons, but counter offense now coming out. As we see Torsos, he really hits those ones.
Yeah, you shouldn't expect him to miss completely a backboard shot. Very good at them, very good at the reads, and yeah, that time was way off.
Torsos, go for the backboard. Can he get a second touch? He does, but cleared out by Misty. You see Shady. He was dropped down by his teammate there. Looks to follow it through, but 3 members from the Renacons on the right-hand side wall. Express. We'll save that one out. We'll just slow it down, try to beat the first member in Misty, but look, 5-1, very dominant lead and very dominant victory.
And no chance, of course, to bring this one back, but a chance at a goal that Change is not going to be able to sink. So game number 3 heading the way of Pray for Drip. Perfect signs as well as Drip A does go into that RLCS/RLRS promotion relegation tournament tonight at 5 a.m. We're in the grand final, and again, another whopping game for Pray for Drip, a 5-goal game again.
Yeah, look, that's what we're expecting, right? You know, the game 2 that we saw before, where Justice actually won.
Mhm.
Definitely not what we were after, what we're expecting.
Uh-huh.
But Pray for Drip, really take it out. 5-1, game 3. It is a best of 7, so we're going to see a few more games. But yeah, Justice Esports definitely look on the back end here.
Yeah, I do think that if they can get an early lead, they can take game number 4 and bring it back to a tie, and then all of a sudden it really opens up the entire series. But of course, if you go down 3-1, if Pray for Drip do take this game and put themselves on match point, I don't see how any team in the competition would be able to bring it back against them.
Definitely not. Really strong showings from Pray for Drip. We hope some strong showings for Drip in the promotion series. Good shot coming out from Change, followed by Misty, but oh no, sorry, that was Misty.
The defense was really clutch there. They had to
Yeah.
make 2 big saves. They just got it. The shot was potentially placed too close to the defender for it to go into the net.
And Torsos potentially going to look for a second one. Misty is up there and might see a shot coming out from Torsos. Can't quite make the angle happen. However, Yeezy, a few whiffs coming out from Yeezy.
Torsos had managed to get the flip reset, and then that angle from Express as well was fantastic. He gets to the corner, he reads it really well, and he puts it on target.
Oh, little puff. No big fireworks or anything coming out from him. But yeah, we do see the first goal coming out, and I probably don't expect it to go any other way. Second goal and a bit of a clutch save coming out from Misty. However, the follow-up from Shady is what we're expecting.
That's not the start that Justice Esports wanted to. They wanted to get an early lead and be able to take control of the game. And yet it's the complete opposite direction. One-way traffic right now for Drip Prayer Gang. Drip Prayer Gang. It's really hard to say fastly.
Dripper Prayer.
Fastly.
Yeah.
Quickly.
Drip a... Yeah, I'm not gonna
Drip Prayer Gang.
Oh well, pray for Drippe. Everyone pray for Drippe. But both teams, like they're pretty momentum based. Like so far, we saw that Justice in their game, they were doing well, and then as soon as they lost it back.
Yeah, I mean, everyone who's got the first goal has won the game, and pretty convincingly too. But I don't know if that's truly an indicator, or whether game 2 was just completely off the mark for Pray for Drip.
We are seeing a few shots, but counter-attack coming out from the Redicons Express. Don't quite connect there. Change pops it up for his teammate Misty, and Misty should have a shot, but sends it into the corner instead. Change looking to follow it through. And Express just looking to control the ball, looking to pass it into Shady. Shady misses that one, unfortunately.
That looked like it was going to be an epic pass play as well. Express was already up for the pass. He pre-jumped it. Not the best touch of Express to go back, but it works out in their favor to keep possession for a short while.
And Change looking to try to keep this aggression for Justice here. We're 2 goals down, and yeah, they're definitely going to need a goal soon. But it does look like the Renacons have been in control most of this game and most of this series so far. Express, pop it into the backboard, but blocked out by Misty. Passing play.
Oh,
Jumping out.
unfortunately, Shady potentially saved that one.
Express looking for the backboard, looking to follow it up. No, leaves it for his teammate, fakes that one out, tries to go for the bump play instead, and leaves it for Torsos.
Good setup here from Express, because he hits the backboard and he could have followed it.
He thought about it.
Instead, he makes sure that the defender couldn't get in. The defender had to, again, go off the back of the net, go up onto the roof, and it made it so easy for Torsos to put that one in. And it's now 1 goal for each player on Pray for Drip.
Easy. Look at it, like, time and time again, Justice are trying to make it awkward for the Renacons, but with players like Torsos, I don't think it's possible to make plays all good. All these backboard plays, they know how to recover really well.
There's a reason that these guys have been to the World Championship.
Yeah.
They're just a class above so many people. Like, it's not just us esports. Like, as much as I make fun of Yeezy for whiffing every ball, it's not Yeetzy's fault. He's up against a very good team here. And even if it's not the core roster of Icon, it's 2/3 of, they've brought in the best player in OCE right now. How do you beat that? It's so difficult. It's really showing just a step above, and it's just going to be one more goal.
And yet again, just one player in Shady waiting upfield and passing plays. And look, he's just way in front of everybody. There's no defense to even challenge that one. And we see the 4th goal in just like 3.5 minutes. Pretty good.
1 minute 20 left on the clock, and it looks like we're going to go to match point for Pray for Drip. Doing it for their homie in NA, looking to get into RLCS. And that's much better. A demo play opens up the net for a change.
Yeah, that was a bit awkward coming out from Express. He wanted to pass it inwards, and perhaps it would have worked out, but we do see the demo play come out, and whiffs out for Drip as well. Drip, Drip wouldn't want you in his fan club. Yeah, that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, and we're reading the in-game chat.
Oh, they can't see that?
Yeah, no, that's Shady and Torsos going at it.
All you need to know is every play is for Drip.
Yeah.
That's it. As we'll see, Misty potentially have a shot opportunity, finds the backboard, but no one really to follow that one up through. Express, clear it out into the center. Torsos follows it up. Shady, he's up there, but not really in a position to receive that one. Into the center. Express. And Misty. Follow on through. Yeezy looking to potentially go for solo play. Can't quite get foot reset going. As we finds the backboard. Nothing quite yet. There's no one really to follow that one through. Torsos getting a couple touches. We know that he's so good at getting these multiple touch plays. And just sending it all the way up into the other side of the field. Misty. Go for a play, but a bit too quick. Beaten out as Express. Looking to find a 5th goal for his team. And we do see it finally coming out from Torsos.
Great angle too, is he could have hit that anywhere in the net, and the realistically best spot to put it was behind Misty, because he'd already jumped off. And a smart play from Torsos gets them 5-1 lead, and it's another 5-goal game.
Yeah, look, I don't think they can be stopped by any other team at this point. And Express setting up his teammate Torsos to go for a solo montage play if it gets bumped out ultimately. I don't think he's going to be able to do anything with it, but
no,
would have been cool to see regardless.
Cool to see, and also great to see Renacons Pray for Drip get that 3rd game. We are going to go into game number 4 and see if, game number 5. See if they can take it out 4-1. Justice Esports have a long road back. It's been very difficult for them. They won that 2-0 one, but every single other game has been 5 goals for Pray for Drip.
Yeah, that's just one of those games that they were maybe caught a bit sleeping. I don't think they're going to be caught again. I think they're going to take it out the next game, and I think it's going to be convincing like the other 3 have been as well. Yeah,
it seems like it's going to go that way. The momentum certainly in Pray for Drip's corner. And as we head into game number 5, they might be looking to close this one out and take the $260 away.
Yeezy sends it upfield, finds the backboard, but we do have a bit of space coming out. Shady trying to dribble it out of defense. Torsos has a play into Express. Express not really up, so sets it up for Change. Change can't quite find it as Misty tries to find the shot out of that one. Demo's coming out into Yeezy.
Misty had a really good shot on there, but Torsos, he doesn't hesitate. He just goes for it. He got the save at the same time, and even though he had 2 players behind him, made sure that the net was covered.
And that was a crucial demo coming out onto Yeezy. Yeezy did actually, I think, have a shot coming out there. It gets demoed in the process. It actually gets that shot entirely denied. Express is up, looks to pass it upfield, but no one is there back in net. There should be a goal, and we do see Misty also praying for Drip, rather.
Yeah, he's updated his name. He's praying for Drip too, and he gets the 1st goal for Justice, for Drip A, of course. And This is reminiscent of game number 2. They got their first goal, they got a kickoff goal, and they kept it in the lead from there.
Yeah, let's see if they can keep this momentum going. Change pinches it into the center there. But the Torsos clears it out. A bit hard to keep up to date with his player names. Change to follow through, looks to just dribble it out. Tries to find the center perhaps, but finds Express instead, sends it upwards. Pressure building up from Yeezy. Yeezy should have a shot here, but denied by Shady there.
He has a good save. And kind of expect that from Shady. Very good in front of the net in terms of those clutch defense moments where you have to go diving, you have to make a big prediction, and he does it again in this game.
We see constant pressure coming out from the Renacons, Shady trying to find a pass there. Misty clears it out. Yeezy waiting upfield, could have a shot potential, but can't quite make it happen.
It was a quick play to get to that ball, but he couldn't get the angle at the same time, just coming in from the side too hard. And almost a chance for Justice Esports, but they're still in the lead.
Had a potential there. Only one man that they needed to beat there, but couldn't quite get the momentum working. As you see, Torsos up, trying to deny Justice the opportunity to get that second goal. And yeah, they do. Yeezy able to finish that one off.
And we know they can hold a 2-0 lead. Misty getting involved in the attack quite heavily. A first touch, a 50-50 as well. And Yeezy finds a very solid shot into the net at 120 Ks.
And as you were saying, it is reminiscent to game 2.
Yeah.
Where they did take it out to goals, I believe. And fairly early onwards too. So it does look pretty similar. Obviously, pray for Drip. The Renacons definitely going to want to close this one out quickly, I'd assume. But Justice showing signs of hope.
Yeah, well, there's 2.5 minutes remaining, and again, we look back at game number 2 and say, well, it's most likely that Pray for Drip are going to be pretty relaxed here. They're not going to worry about changing their play style up just yet. Maybe seeing if they can generate something more, something that will get past this Justice Esports defense.
Misty trying to beat out Torsos, but can't quite make it happen. Change. He's up quick to the ball, but it's blocked out by Shady there. Torsos. Go for second touch. Can't quite find the middle, but Shady is waiting upfield. Express can't quite connect with it, and we do have open net if we can get it working, but a little bit too slow. But Yeezy still able to finish that one off.
Yeezy's finding his shots now. He got the first shot, and now off the backboard, gets up to it quickly, puts it straight back down as well, and gets it past Express at the same time. So 3-0 now for Justice Esports. A chance to bring this series back.
Yeah, definitely a strong start for them. We weren't expecting this. As I said before, I was expecting a clean sweep after, obviously, they lost the game 2. I wasn't expecting to see that again. And here we are. So, look, interesting to see from the Renacons. Maybe they got a bit complacent yet again. Let's see. Look, if they do take this one out, I wonder if we see it again.
I think, as it's gone all series, whoever's got that first goal has won it out. And maybe now it's less of a coincidence than we thought before. Misty had missed that one. And didn't feel like a simple one. Oh, it goes wide, and that was their chance to get back in the game. It might be too late now.
Yeah, they juked out their opposition there as Torsos able to take that shot slightly wide. But yeah, minute left, 3 goals. It's a tough ask.
60 seconds left on the clock.
One might have just sailed in and another save, but I think it's too late now to pray for Drip.
Change going for a solo play. Can't quite get the flip reset going. Cleared out by Shady now. And Misty just able to buy some time. Clear it out. Express might have the shot attempt here, but again, just too wide.
And it's the right post again, and this time Dorsos hits it behind himself. Every chance to pray for Drip, but not feeling like the crisp players, not feeling like those players that can get big executions, big mechanical plays coming out. They're just falling short in this game.
Look, the good news is that both teams are playing for Drip now, so it doesn't really matter who wins at the end of the day. We're all cheering for Drip. We're all praying for Drip and hoping that he makes it through. But for this one, we are going to see Justice take their second game from the Renacons.
And closer as well than we may have thought from game number 1, where it was a 5-0 and we thought, oh, okay, fine. Pray for Drip are just going to take this away. Justice Esports are fighting back, taking their second game of the series, bring this to within one game. And if they win one more, they will be seeing a game number 7 in the grand final.
Yeah, look, I think obviously the Randicons still probably hard favorites. They only need to win one more, whereas Justice need to win 2. Can Justice win 3 games in a row?
It's going to be so tough. You see every single game, Pray for Drip come out with something new. They come fighting back. You lose one and you're like, oh, we can't lose to these guys. And they step it up one more pace. I think they weren't playing as fast as they could have. In the previous games, they were playing a lot faster. If Pray for Drip certainly can pick up that pace, it might be too much for Justice.
Big boom coming out of Express, but can't make anything work with it just yet. Torsos able to get the touch. Change, however, bumps out his teammate there, Torsos, and we could see a goal, but no one really decided to go for that one. Misty almost makes it in that hole there, and Yeatsy finishes that one off.
The first shot from Misty opens up the net. And it's not the best touch from Torsos, but it is a solid one from Misty, past the last 2 defenders, and Yeatsy gets gifted a goal.
Yeah, we said before that the Renacons couldn't get an awkward position, but it just seems like, well, they can bleed. They can definitely get put in an awkward position, and that's where they compensate.
And the first goal to Justice, well, that happened the last 2 times, and both of those times, Pray for Drip could not score a single goal after that.
Lead out by Misty. Misty looking to follow it up, but Change unable to connect with that one. There's been a bit of an unfortunate tussle there as Express dribble it out of defense. No one is up, but Misty looking to play with it. Gets a flip reset. Pops the first defender. Leaves it for Yeatsy. Tries to find second. Change. In an awkward spot. Misty should be able to clear this one out, but he can't quite get the angle. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, no one was challenging, unfortunately, and Torsos was given so much room. Misty just hang back. Change was coming out of nowhere, and that was very reminiscent of the goal that Justice Esports just scored.
Yeah, I think players like Torsos, you don't give him space. And yeah, Misty just gave him all the space in the world, all the, basically no respect. And with a player like Torsos, one of the best, if not the best player in OCE, you don't give him that freedom.
No, and All Express had pre-jumped that one, thinking that Torsos didn't have the double touch, and it still almost worked out.
Shady looking to go for the backboard, beaten out by Change as Express moves again. Misty picks it up, but Shady is waiting for it. Only one player in Torsos waiting behind, but clears it up into the offense and can't quite make it work. Express again trying to keep this constant pressure on.
The thing is, we weren't seeing these mistakes earlier.
No.
They weren't happening, and that's why they were able to get 5 goals in a single game. This is the first one, though, that has kind of been tied up. It's equal either way, and whoever gets the next goal is going to be in a very good spot.
Yeah, this is probably the closest game that we have seen from both these teams so far. But I think most of the shots actually coming out from the Renacons.
For the moment, certainly have the advantage of shots in 4-2, but realistically, it's not about shots, it's about opportunities, and certainly in the end, both of them scored the same number, 1 apiece in terms of scored opportunities, and Misty has been beating them to the ball in the midfield.
Yeah, it's good to see. Obviously, in the first game and those games that were really whitewashes, we weren't seeing that speed, we weren't seeing that pressure. But I guess, as the series continues, Justice is showing us that they can keep up.
Not
Except not right now.
As a quick play, you saw all 3 players as well.
All
from
3.
Drip Pray for Drip, in front of the net, waiting for that play to happen. And
Pray for Drip.
this is tough now because Justice Esports have not shown much valor when they are behind.
Yeah, it's going to be the first time it happens this series if it actually does happen. But obviously, the Renacons will definitely wanting to hold on to this one. Probably won't see too many silly mistakes coming out of them. Express, go for the backboard, let's go for a second touch, third touch, and Shady can't quite find the touch that he's after, leaves it for Torsos. We all know what can happen if Torsos has the ball and almost gets the second touch.
He almost had the double off that back corner, and just shows how much pressure you can put the defense on. All three of the members of Justice Esports had to commit up for the save.
Boy, Torsos coming off the roof. Don't know how he read that one, but he does well. Misty should have the shot there, and he finishes it off, equalizing with 1 minute 40 remaining.
Very nice shot, and a great play from Justice Esports as well. Change is taking it slow, allowing Misty to get the redirect, and he got a lot of power off that, 111 Ks.
Yeah, that's the equalizer that Justice were after. Plenty of time to work with, but considering that Pray for Drip is actually 1 game ahead in the series, it's do or die for them.
Yeah, that's the problem for Justice Esports. They can't afford any more goals, and this is straight into the net, off the kickoff. Express hits that one high, and unfortunately, Yeezy doesn't get the touch that he really wanted. Another one for Torsos into the back of the net. Again, it's another game where equal opportunity, all three have got a goal on the board.
Yeah, good to see. Misty looking to go for a solo play, flicks it over, but can't quite beat the first defender there. Change, looking to go for center. Yeti is there, but ultimately beaten out by Torsos. Torsos, obviously, probably the fastest player on pitch. It's going to be hard to try to beat him out.
Certainly been difficult all throughout the night to beat Torsos to the ball. He's still playing fast, but we have seen some gaps in his arm. We've seen some misses coming out from him, some missed touches as well. That has allowed a lot more plays, and yet right there, you see, he gets back in, he gets the goal.
Yeah, Shady just able to be a nuisance. Torsos with the pass, and Express doesn't even need to finish that one off. Just needs to get the ball, push the ball forward, and Torsos again with another goal. I'd love to see how many goals he's actually got this series.
I love how selfless as well Express is. He doesn't worry too much about getting those goals, about finishing them off. He's always happy to let his teammate have them if he knows he's got it, including that one. He purposely whiffed that ball, completely whiffed that ball so that Torsos could get a free touch.
That's what happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm sticking with.
Yeah, good gamble, good gamble. However, we do see 2-goal lead, and if they can hold on to this one, which I would like to assume they would, we might see RLO 100 going to the Renacons. However, Misty trying to give them a run for their money, trying to get those 2 goals and squeeze those 2 goals in, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. Express looking aggressive as ever as Shady turns around on it, keeping in the forward 50. No real pressure now coming out from Justice. Good pass back, but too little too late. As we do see the Renacons take out RLO number 100 and take out the $260.
$260. Pray for Drip have won the series 4 and 2. They've done it for Drip A.
They've done it for Drip A.
They have done a fantastic job. At the end of the day, just too good for all of their oppositions. And really, a reminder, you see in life these circles of life, this repetition that happens. The best team today was obviously Pray for Drip, and they won it.
Mhm.
But it reminds me, makes me reminisce about RLO number 1, where the best team, Little Wangs with Yummy Cheese Man on it, they took it out. They managed to do it. And at the end of the day, it's always good to see the best team win. You don't want to see some bad gameplay like we saw from
RLO
Gfinity.
number 100.
I was going to say like from Gfinity Elite Series
That
Season
too.
2 when Avant Gaming were
Oh,
playing.
I don't know. I feel like we could have given you a run for your money in RLO number 100.
Wrong.
Number 1, sorry.
wrong.
No?
Wrong. Nah, we had
That's when I wish time travel was a thing. I wish
Yeah.
that Avant Gaming Season 2 Gfinity could take on... What's your team name?
Little Wangs.
Little Wangs.
Yeah, to be
yes,
fair, Little
yeah.
Wangs is not a very good team. I could give you that. Yeah, it was pretty young.
Hey, man, you've been saying that they're the best.
Yeah, no, the real best team was Gameroos XD, obviously, / Team XD. And the best player of all time was the Beast XD. Luckily, we have the second best player at the moment, Torsos, on the pitch, and he's won. They're going to take a share of $260 each. So somewhere in the lines of what, $86.66, something like that.
Yeah, I can't be bothered. It's too late to do the maths on that one right now in my head.
Yeah,
Bring
I
up
mean,
the calculator, but
It has
Yeah.
been a big day. Of course, we started the tournament at 4 p.m. It's only just finished, and it has been an excellent way of celebrating the life of OCE Rocket League, the 4 years almost that we've been doing, the OCE Rocket League has existed, and the 3 years that Rocket League Oceania has been going on. A fantastic way to, I guess, cap off those 3 years. But RLO is going to continue every single Saturday night at 4 p.m. It continues on. The winners of those do go into the glove, the gauntlet, and get the chance at their own fame and glory every single week. We saw the victors. Second place was Justice Esports, who put on a valiant effort in the grand final. And third place goes across to Justice Esports White, as well as who was the other team on the other side that just lost to Pray for Drip? The Farm.
Gamers?
The
No,
Farm. They also took away $60. But thank you everyone for showing up and playing tonight. There were 30 teams total that completely signed up. There were more teams overall, and 117 players, if I recall.
Yeah, I think like that's a good recap. I think that's all what it's about is that there's these pro players, there's the players that are top of the region, and then there's also these bubble players. And I'm sure there was like, a little bit earlier in the group stage, there's players that, haven't really played for too long. So it's great seeing, celebration of Rocket League. It's good seeing a whole range of players contributing to this one.
Yeah, and we are going to get a few words in as well from Dover and potentially Nolski. Hopefully not Nolski. He went pretty ham on the chat tonight, banning people left, right, and center.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what that was about.
And listen, look, I know I'm fat. You don't have to tell me. I'm here drinking my wine. I'm having some profiteroles.
He finished the bottle too, didn't he, mate?
Yeah, it's gone. It's down here.
Meanwhile, I'm still on my first cup.
Excuse me, we're not sponsored by wine.
We're not sponsored by wine?
Now
we're a G-rated stream, aren't we?
Yeah, now we need...
No, that's it's Red Cordial. It's Red Cordial.
Now,
it's Red Cordial.
Hey, if you're out there and you sell wine, please sponsor the event. Thank you.
RLO 200.
You're welcome for the shout-out, wine.
They're going to see a lot of profits from that one.
Shady's got the wine glass out.
Shady's got the
Congratulations, of course, to Shady, who did it for Drip tonight.
He did it for Drip.
And he's donating all of his winnings back to Drip. Drip, we know.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
He's fallen a long way from RLCS to into the promotion relegation tournament. He needs all the support he can get, so that $86.66 should go to Drip.
Yeah, that'll mean a lot to him, I'm sure. But look, I think...
Wait, Nolski said he can't come because he, quote-unquote, doesn't have anything prepared. And I understand that from someone of limited intelligence such as Nolski.
Yeah, what's that PhD?
That he needs to have
anyway?
like everything written down for him.
Yep.
Like whenever he's doing admin, I have to write him a step-by-step instruction.
No. He's saying, let me flame Yummy. I'm coming in.
Let me flame Yummy.
He's coming in, boys.
All right, hurry up and join the bloody call, mate.
We want to see this happen.
This is all we want.
Some first-class flaming coming in. Maybe not.
I don't think it's going to.
I think he's scared.
I'll be impressed if he has a good flame.
Here we go.
Hello?
Whoa! Don't scream, Nolski. Come on, man. How's it going?
Pretty good, actually, yeah.
Oh, can you please turn yourself down, mate? Oh my goodness, my poor.
I'll
Whoa!
just
Stop
walk away from
talking! Stop talking!
He's just muted you on Discord too.
Oh,
He
no,
doesn't
I have
ever
to
want
turn
hear
you down to 15%, mate. Bloody hell!
Look, there's nothing I
wrong
can do
with
about
you?
that.
See, you've just flamed yourself because everyone else is able to like set up a microphone, right? Nolski
Most people.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd think he'd be able to.
Don't you use this every single day to talk to players, quote unquote, to help them into matches?
Well, but, yeah. Look, you
Yeah.
know what? I shouldn't have said anything that was going to flame you.
Yeah, well, it's too late now because you bloody messed up, mate.
Where's this much-awaited flaming I was hearing?
Yeah, I thought there was going to be something like really fire coming out, and yet
It's like got some dirt
The
on Yummy
only-
or something. He's got
the
some
only
dirt on you.
fire
I don't
was
know.
the microphone peaking in my ears.
Yeah, fire in my ears.
All right, Nolski, but on a
Where's
serious
Dover?
note, do you have something to say about RLO 100, about Rocket League OCE, anything like that?
Look, it's been a long time now, and a lot of me wishes I was there at the beginning, like the early days before when Dover was around, when Dover just started.
Before Dover, you want to be
Before
there
Dover,
before
yeah.
Dover, yep.
But I mean, this game is changing, and this community is the main reason why I do. You know, as good as a few bad eggs we see here and there, but I think there's really not much like the Rocket League community, and tonight has shown why. And the fact that there's 100 of these is really cool, man. It's really cool.
100 across 3 years. That's not one every week, though, Nolsky. Why is that?
Skipped a few.
Why? Well, you know, getting people to volunteer their time for weekend tournaments is a. Plus, you know, we ran out of money early on. We were finding things out of our pockets, and then you know, early on I think we had to stop to either find money, or we just came to the decision to run them without prize pools, just because, you know, I was a student, so was Dover, so is Dover. Oh no, Dover graduated, that's right.
Yeah,
Dover
that's
graduated.
right. Dover's got a
Make sure to
full-time
congratulate him
job.
when he jumps on.
I've got a job
But
now.
yeah, we were students. Yeah, and this was just, you know, a hobby / passion.
Well, thank you, Nolsky. Thank you for running the event. Thank you for running a lot of events around OCE.
No problem.
We make fun of you because your IQ is 50, but it just goes to show that even if you are, you know, disadvantaged like Nolsky is, you can still realize your dreams. So I think just alongside
Appreciate that.
celebrating RLO 100, we are celebrating those with those disadvantages in life, such as Nolsky. Dover, of course, the man of the hour. I think one of the two that started RLO, but more importantly, the one that stuck with RLO through thick and thin. We want to hear a few words from you as well.
Yeah, it's been a crazy 3 years, up and down. Obviously, a big thank you to everybody who's been involved throughout the years. You know, people come and go. We have new people come in, and people move on to better things. And you know, sometimes we miss those people that, you know, aren't around anymore. Like, the people that come to mind are like Baz and Gibbles, and then some of the players as well, like Soma and Aaron and the good boys that I remember them from, you know, back in the cyber gamer days. But you know, the fact that there's 100 RLO 3v3 tournaments now is a pretty cool achievement that RLO holds, and you know, we'll continue to run these, and hopefully, you know, one day we'll get a weekly prize pool in there. We keep saying that, but you know, things continue to look on the up and up for Rocket League and the OCE region. You know, with the Gfinity RLO Masters, and now, you know, with all the new news coming out with Rocket League lately, things do look exciting for the future. But for now, I think all I can just say is thank you to everybody who's helped RLO, not just RLO, but the community as a whole. Because, you know, without everybody in this community, this game, this region wouldn't be where we are. You know, the boys who are going to Dallas this weekend, you know, it might have been a completely different story if it wasn't for the people who built this community in the very first place, right? So yeah, I think with that said, good luck to the boys in Dallas this weekend. Good luck to Drip tomorrow. I hope he makes it back to the RLCS and gets to continue to play over there in North America. And then good luck to the boys in the World Championships in a few weeks' time. I wish them all the best. But yeah, for now, I hope everybody enjoyed the night. I hope all the players enjoyed the tournament. And yeah, GG's, guys.
Thank you again, Dover. Always wonderful to hear from you, and as well, you know, a massive shout out to Dover putting on these events, who created RLO, who's been a major factor of OCU Rocket League for a long time. I know Basink is also in here, he's a new member of RLO, but any last words from you, Basink, as well?
Just mainly to
Whoa!
say thank you. Sorry, everyone, about my microphone. Do the same thing as Nolsk. I just want to say big thank you to everyone. I know I've only really been in the shoes quite recently, filling in for Dumpling. Big shoes to fill for Dumpling, doing so much for the event team. And just, we've got so much going on in the future. I know with Gauntlet, the glove as well. It's a positive movement. We're moving forward. And big hopes for everyone, and big thank you to everyone with today's tournament. I know I did stuffed up one, the seeding and the way the brackets were run. So we went from a 3-hour tournament to a 5-hour tournament. So do apologise for that. But hey, that's the fun part about winning a tournament. So big thank you to everyone and big hopes for the future. So thank you guys and yeah, cheers.
Well, thank you, Basing, for ruining the night, and hopefully,
New.
hopefully we see a lot more of Basing as well. He does a lot for the Gauntlet and Glove, as well as doing work for RLO and making sure that Liquipedia is kept updated. He's doing a lot of stuff around. So there's a lot of important things that people do that maybe you guys don't even know about in the OCC. And I think the Liquipedia stuff is very important for Basing because it's all about identifying and giving people a way to track what's happening in OCE. Without it, nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows why people are praying for drip. But any last words as well from you, Fergus, right?
No, I had a lot of fun tonight, and yeah, I think it's great seeing such a awesome community come out and continue. Like, obviously, I'm kind of new to this whole casting thing, so thank you all for the patience with my ridiculousness. But yeah, no, I think all I want to say is also pray for drip.
Well, thank you as well, Fergus.
If I may just butt in really quick.
Well, the only way that you can get
I'm
into
really
a conversation is to butt in, so go ahead.
Sorry. But it's necessary.
Yeah.
I wanted to take the time as well to thank everyone who has helped the Rocket League community. Not just within RLO, but the community itself. And this is going back 3 years, so that's including everyone from 2KF1, Vapor, Nordic, Yummy, yourself. You've done so much work behind the scenes that maybe a lot of the community doesn't realize. They just see you as the caster, but not just as, someone who really puts their neck out for OCE. And you guys, especially, for helping come on to cast tonight.
Big thanks to you guys.
Homie in chat. Quantum, the longest ones running series in OCE ever. So yeah, there's a lot of people that behind the scene that make the community work, and want to thank them and especially the community.
Yeah, we're gonna see a couple of those coming up, obviously in the credits too. Big thanks. There's a lot of unknown investors out there too. I mentioned Squire Pug earlier. Doofus Viper is certainly one of them who's put a lot of money into the scene. Even Bentz, he's entered a lot of money into tournaments alongside Dover and Nolsky. Everyone has thrown in their bit in terms of OCE, and that's what makes me proud of this scene overall. The amount of passion that everyone's put in so much work, and hopefully it continues on. Quantum, I totally forgot about Quantum, but I totally forget about Nolsky all the time as well. Anyway, thank you to Focusrite, thank you Nolsky, Dover, Basing, everyone who's been involved in the night. Thank you to all the players, all 30 teams, all 117 players. Most of all, thank you to you guys who keep coming every single time that there's a tournament on. The guys that have donated constantly, the guys who continue watching, and a lot of you guys out in there in chat play Rocket League in OCE as well. They're so passionate about the OCE teams and how bad NA is, and that's what we all love. That is going to be us for tonight. It is the end of the stream. It was a fantastic evening, and I hope we get to do it again sometime in the future. But for now, this is Yummy Cheeseman and Focusrite signing out, and we don't know when we'll be back, but maybe someday soon.
Number 200.
Number 200 coming shortly.